to produce solutions, management, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at repairclinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000. Use code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000.
This report is brought to you by CM Mose & Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMoseandSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mose & Son. Coming to terms with a dying AC unit is tough. If you need to replace your AC, visit cmmoseandson.com to schedule your free estimate. CM Mose & Son. License 202919. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now the pitch. And a swing and a high fly ball deep left field. Green is back. Green looks up. It's gone! A 3-run homer by Salvador Perez. And the Royals take the lead. It's 8-6.
At that point in time, you thought, you know what? All right. The offense has figured it out. The Royals are going to salvage one in Detroit. Going to have a much better plane ride to New York City. And we wouldn't have the terrible feeling that Royals fans had immediately after that game and carrying into today, and the disappointment, the frustration, you name it. But we all know what happened, unfortunately, in the ninth inning. To talk more about where this team is at, also this weekend series against the Yankees, we welcome in Jake Eisenberg. Of course, you hear him here on 96.5 The Fan, Royals broadcaster. He joins us each and every Friday. Jake, good morning. Appreciate you getting up early. I guess actually it's not early. It's almost noon there. You know what? It was fine with you getting up with us because it's almost noon. But what was it like for you?
I gained an hour on you guys.
You did gain an hour. What was yesterday like for a broadcaster? Because we started the show, of course, talking about we were very close to have been in a spot where you could have talked yourself into, all right, that could be a win we look back at for a long time, and instead it was a new way. I found a new way to lose a baseball game.
Yeah, it was certainly a gut punch. I mean, it's the latest in what's been a string of gut punches. You look at it and you kind of zoom out, and not only is it 4 straight losses, but it's 4 straight one-run losses where the go-ahead run has scored in the 7th inning or later in all 4 games. That was true on Sunday against the White Sox. It was true in all 3 games against the Tigers. And so it is gut punch after gut punch. And yesterday was certainly the guttiest and punchiest because you lose in walk-off fashion, giving up 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, especially when you're a strike away from escaping Detroit with a win and avoiding being swept by a division opponent. So, yeah, it's been definitely a rough handful of days. It's been kind of so close you can taste it, but also agonizingly far away. I mean, there was a reason that I spent some of the time on the broadcast yesterday talking about Sisyphus, and boys, it feel like the boulder has rolled back down the hill a little bit more than we thought it was going to.
We can talk about the offense here in a minute. Maybe something coming together for them yesterday, at least in a one-game setting. But these late games, the Royals are now 0-5 in one-run games this year. So do you view that as more of a bullpen or clutch hitting? Like, what needs to improve if you're going to, obviously you can't just lose every one-run game. That will go against you in the long run. But where are you seeing those consistent problems, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of an all-encompassing thing. You need to put everything together to win a one-run game because those are the most tightly contested games, and the team that performs better in all phases of the game is usually going to come out ahead when you have games that you're being played with razor-thin margins, whether it's starting pitching or the offense, hitting in clutch situations, manufacturing runs, or the bullpen, locking down a tight game, keeping a game tied or maintaining a lead. Like, you need to check all those boxes to consistently win one-run games. There is, some level of randomness in one-run games, and they tend to even out over the course of a season, certainly, and, time will tell on that. But what we've seen over the last few days is we've either seen, a lack of an ability to manufacture a run or get that big hit when needed, or in the case of the last couple of days, you've also seen, the bullpen falter, here and there. It hasn't been just one person either. It's kind of been an all-encompassing sort of thing. So in order to win those close games, you kind of need to check all the boxes of a game. And the Royals have yet to put it all together, even though you've seen bits and pieces of it here and there.
Were you? I'm assuming you were in the clubhouse maybe afterwards. I know obviously you're on the plane ride with the team to New York. What is the vibe right now with this team? I mean, when you have the games that they have played in this last week alone, let alone yesterday, I mean, how do you think this team is handling that?
Yeah, that's not something that I can really accurately speak to. I wasn't in the clubhouse post-game, or usually we're not in the clubhouse post-game because we're on the air and then we're getting ready to go. And our travel situation is truncated enough where there's not a whole lot of interaction until maybe we get to the hotel and then everyone's, going up to their room. So until I get to the clubhouse today and get to the ballpark today, I won't really be able to answer that question. But I do get the sense that, and I give Matt Quatraro a ton of credit for this. And I know it's hard to see from the outside looking in, to see even keel and to not see, an explosion in the dugout when something doesn't go the way that you want it to. But his ability to steer a ship through, some pretty choppy waters and maintain some stoicism, but also trust the processes that these players and these coaches have built that they know are going to win out over the long run, to stay true to that course is such a harder thing to do than maybe people realize. And I give him a lot of credit for imbuing that in the clubhouse. And you can see in certain points where guys will come to the plate and maybe they abandon the plan because, I don't want to say they're pressing, but, they abandon a plan for one reason or another. Some guys stick to that plan a little bit better than others. And I'm not saying sticking to the plan means that you're going to have the results. I'm saying that you can tell what the processes are. And ultimately, there are good things that happen as a result. I'll use a more specific example, while I'm in the midst of rambling here. Lane Thomas comes to the plate to pinch hit yesterday against a right-handed hitter. We think of Lane Thomas as someone who's going to be platoon heavy and only face left-handed pitchers. And when he's coming in face lefties, beginning of the season, the results haven't quite been there. But now over the last couple of games, when he's had those opportunities, the results have been there. And they've been there against righties too. Don't forget his leadoff single against Kenley Jansen a couple of nights ago. But yesterday he comes in to pinch hit against a righty. And at first you're thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. I thought he was only going to pinch hit against lefties. But then you look at Drew Anderson, who he's pinch hitting against, the guy who throws his changeup about a third of the time, who has been gnarly against left-handed hitters. And you realize that pitcher has massive reverse splits. Lane Thomas comes in. Ultimately, he doesn't have to do anything. He takes a 4-pitch walk. But no doubt that pitcher is thinking about that matchup in a different way and maybe approaching it in a different way. And it's something that works out and helps spurn that 6-run 7th inning. And, that's Matt Quatraro continuing to push the buttons as part of the process that he knows that he's built and that these players are accustomed to and have trusted in. And yes, the dividends will come. Again, it's about putting it all together, and that hasn't happened the last 4 days. There were signs of life, though, yesterday that I think are really encouraging offensively, not just the total runs and hits, but also seeing Vinny have a couple of hits and Salvador Perez having his first hit with a runner in scoring position. Like, now, hopefully, you start to see the waterfall start to cascade.
I want to talk about more about that, but first I want to rewind the clock to a full year ago where the Royals, and to tell me if this sounds familiar, finished getting swept by the New York Yankees and swept by the Tigers. Or I'm sorry, lost 3 straight games to the Tigers. And were 8-14 before eventually rattling off 9 of 10, or eventually I think 17 of 19, or something like that. So they were 8-14, and then eventually found themselves in winning ways. What happened last year? Like, if I'm looking for a sign, what happened last year before they went on that winning streak when they got it to a very similar start?
Yeah, I mean, it is sort of eerily similar too, because the Royals last year saw the Guardians, Tigers, and Yankees early on in April. Lo and behold, here we are again. Same kind of road trip setup, even though there's been a homestand in between. I think a lot of the things that we're seeing and feeling are kind of the same. And so it's easy to say, oh, my goodness, here we go again. the lack of hitting with runners in scoring position consistently, the really good starting pitching that gets squandered at times. And then, every now and again, there's not going to be, a starter that goes 7 innings and allows 1 run. And then you're on your heels a little bit more. And then, you do put up the offensive numbers. But I think pitching, it was a team, especially with runners in scoring position. It was Bobby and Vinny and Salvi, leading the offensive charge, and the supporting cast of the offense also being there to get clutch hits or get on base in key situations too. And I just remember last year that, there felt like there was kind of that wall that you're kind of banging your head against for the first couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden there was a breakthrough and they went off and they were running. It just took a little bit to get off the starting blocks. And it kind of, feels similar this year. But if I remember correctly, there wasn't a specific thing. I think it was really just staying the course and trusting that the tide was going to turn as long as the process and good process was true. And I think that's the case this year too.
What do you make about the offense, I guess? You said it looked like there was some good signs for you. Had you seen anything out of Salvi or Vinny up to that point? Or was this one of those, okay, great, you guys all had a good game, make it 2 good games, right? Or were there signs you think for either of those guys before last night?
I think there were signs for Vinny before last night, a couple of nights ago. He hits that triple into deep right center field. He's starting to really drive the ball into that right center field gap and left center field too, and starting to, spray it a little bit more to left center and right center as opposed to either pulling it or being a little bit late and going to the opposite field. So the timing seems like it's been better the last couple of days. And if you remember last year, once Vinny found his timing, boom, he became what should have been, in my opinion, an all-star last year. And there's no reason why that can't be the case starting tonight, especially with the way that he swung the bat the last couple of nights. And with Salvi, I think it's similar to also what we saw last year. And I don't want to paint with a broad brush and say this year is the same as last year. It's not. And I don't think it should be taken to be the case. But Mac Quatrero even said that he saw that, Salvi might be expanding a little bit more than usual. And, obviously he wants to lead the charge and come through in those situations. And he was able to do that yesterday, hitting a 10-pitch changeup out over the left field fence. I mean, that is the kind of clutch at bat, kind of clutch hit that has been missing over the first few weeks of the season. And he's the guy, that seems to be the one to have that big hit that does catalyze, the offense starting to click. So I'll be very curious to see how this weekend series goes against the Yankees. They've got great starting pitching. Cam Schlittler is going tonight. He has been outstanding. He struck out 30 and only walked 1 in his 4 starts this season. So I'll be very curious to see what the offense looks like this weekend.
We're talking to Jake Eisenberg here on 96.5 The Fan. We're talking about the offense there and briefly the bullpen, and obviously yesterday with Lucas Urseg. And I understand Carlos might into, I think we were both talking about it before the show even, about the offense, and eventually maybe yesterday was a sign of things to come offensively for them. The bullpen I'm almost more concerned about just because I look at the pieces that they currently have. I look at AAA with some injuries and the pieces that are there, and then knowing that Carlos is not right yet. This bullpen seems to be the biggest concern. What is the most concerning thing for you right now?
I think the most concerning thing about the bullpen right now is trying to figure out who is going to be the most consistent performer in certain situations. Who's going to be the guy that you turn to with runners on in a 1-run game? Who's going to be the guy that, keeps the game tied in a tie game? Who's going to be the guy that locks it down? It's going to be Lucas Urseg in the closer of the look. Every pitcher, every reliever, nobody's perfect unless you're Mason Miller and you're striking out the world with 105-mile-an-hour fastballs and dastardly sliders. Lucas was 5 for 5 in save opportunities until yesterday. So it's not like he'd been pitching poorly. The Tigers are a really good offense. They don't chase that much. They don't expand. They executed their plans against Lucas and ultimately won the day, obviously. But the 9th inning is still his until Carlos Estevez is back to the 100% Carlos that we saw from last year. I think the question is, where do those other roles currently sit? You can see that, there's kind of a shuffling happening as we watch. And Jeff Montgomery, Royals Hall of Famer, over 300 saves, says this a lot in April, that bullpen roles has a way of 8th inning. Just a couple of nights ago, he was a guy that was not on the opening day roster, so he got his shot in high leverage and ultimately, gave up the lead in that situation. But it wouldn't be surprising he has been firing strikes. The stuff looks great. Righties, lefties, it doesn't matter. He's looked awesome. I would not be surprised to see him in higher and higher leverage as he continues to perform consistently. To me, that's I won't want to say concern. That's the biggest question for me is before you get to Lucas Urseg, where does everybody else fit in? What does that puzzle look like for certain situations in certain leverage spots?
Yeah, I'm with you on the leverage in, because oddly enough, like Nick Mears, for whatever, has ended up having the most opportunity with the highest leverage on the team. Not a Strom, not a Lucas Ursig, not a Daniel Lynch. So I wonder if that's where we will see a little bit of an adjustment moving forward. You are in New York City, obviously. Have you seen it's a small city, so I'm sure you've seen our morning show guys, Bob and Dusty, around town already.
They're somewhere.
Yeah, and so it's funny. I was walking through Central Park this morning and just happened to walk right past Joel Goldberg, who was, going for a walk around Central Park too.
It's a big
and
park.
I couldn't help but think, like, we're in like this massive city, giant park. Like, what are the odds that we just happen to be on the same path? Like, so slim, but there you go. I guess a big city, but it can be small if you want it to be too.
Did you do the classic? You get like a coffee and a bagel? How'd you do it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, there's a bagel place that I go to when we come every year. There's a specific place in Central Park. There's a nice rock that looks over a lake. There's some turtles. I like to have my cup of coffee and have my bagel and, sit in Central Park and, do the whole thing. It's great.
Yeah. You got to live the life, when you're there for 3 days, you gotta be like right back in the flow of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake Eisenberg, appreciate it, man. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see, hopefully get some wins there, and we'll check in next week.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Jake Eisenberg from the Royals broadcast team right here on 96.5 The Fan. We were talking about the bullpen. I want to get into that some more, though. Maybe we can do it a little bit later.
We'll do it now. It's fine.
But that's the part that's interesting. And I actually think the bullpen is more concerned. That doesn't alleviate the Alex Zumwalt offense concerns.
Oh, it's a real concern.
But I'm just saying, like, you can still say, I know in the past what Vinny has been or Salvi, et cetera. I don't know if they got the guys in the bullpen. Like, I don't know if there's anybody truly on the roster unless Carlos comes back and is his old self, and he was not, as we know, to start the year. But you got to at least move around some of the guys that are getting opportunities in the highest leverage.
I was a little surprised to find out Nick Mears had the most. That concerns me.
Nick Mears has been in the highest leverage spots the most on the team. Then John Schreiber, then Strom, then Urseg, Lynch. Like, to me, at this point, I know Urseg blew up yesterday, but Urseg and Lynch should be getting, in Strom for that matter, more opportunity. I don't know why Nick Mears, who they acquired in the trade, by the way, with the Brewers.
I think it's because it's been 1-1 in the 6th a lot, 1-1 in the 7th, and they're trying to save the guys you're talking about, Strom and Urseg, for the 8th or the 9th. And so Mears is just getting more opportunities in those innings, which goes back to the same thing. Mears wouldn't be the leverage guy if Estevez was healthy and good. Urseg would be pitching then, and then all these innings Mears would be getting, Strom would be getting. And so it's like, they're a man short. They're a man short, and the bullpen has problems.
On one hand, Carlos Estevez has really screwed this up, but also they knew at the beginning of spring training and during the WBC that his velocity was an issue, and they said, "Oh, it'll work itself out."
And it did last year,
and it did last year. But that's on the front office, man. As much as we can say, like, Carlos has to be better about it, the front office should have had a better plan for how to handle this. It has completely thrown this bullpen in flux.
No, they've got, again, real issues that are difficult to diagnose, at least from the bullpen end. But, and look, I'm not saying there's a bunch of options, but, like you said, some of those guys you've been thinking, oh, we're going to keep them stretched out. We got a long-term plan. Yeah. Like, I understand if you get a starter who goes down, it's like, and Kolek's only pitching 1 inning, or Avila's only pitching 1 inning, what do you do? It's like, figure it out, I guess, because right now you can't do that. And I saw the text and they're like, why you point out last year they didn't make the playoffs? I'm like, well, yeah, they didn't make the playoffs because they started poorly and then finished poorly. But at
that's
the same
the concern from fans.
But they also have to win in order to, like, they have to go on a winning streak. And last year they managed, that was the one time of the year where they gave you, like, not one time, but like renewed hope happened right after. It was weird. When I looked at the schedule, I'm like, am I looking at the right year? They lost a series to Cleveland. They got swept by the Yankees, and they lost 3 of 4 to Detroit, and they were 8-14 before they went on a winning streak. I was like, ugh. But the problem is you can't count on winning 7 of 17 of 19 or 9 of 10 or, like, you're going to have to do it probably slower this time of round.
You can't count on it, but I think what the text maybe was meaning a little bit, though, Cody, is that you're having these slow starts. That's fine that eventually you stabilize, but you already, like, if you don't have that bad start, then you're a playoff team last year. So here you are again in April having a slow start. Yes, maybe things do sort themselves out and the bullpen and everything starts to work out. Maybe, let's say it does, but did it already potentially
kill you?
Hurt you later in the year when all of a sudden you're in hopefully we're still talking about a team in it in August and September, and you're 4 or 5 games out versus, and you say, well, I wonder why. And you go and you look at so far what the start of the season has been. Fans are sick of digging themselves a hole right out of the gate in the month of April.
Really enough, it wasn't April. Like, April was a bad start last year, but by the end of April, they were above 500. They had won 9 of 10. April was not the month that killed them.
No, June.
That was
they didn't have a single. What was the red? They didn't win at home, right? Or they had one or something like that.
That was the one. June is what killed them. By the end of April, just as a reminder, not to say that all years are created equal, by the end of April, even though they had started 8-14, they were 16-15. They had a above 500 record by the time the month ended. By the end of May, there were 3 games above 500, 31-28. And I understand, like, every time you hear 31-28, you're like, well, that's not very good. It's good enough most of the time to at least get you into the playoffs. Like, maybe not quite there, but, like, it's at least in the range of getting you the playoffs. That's an 86 win pace. All right, so pretty good. So not perfect, but pretty good. 31-28. By the end of June, 39-46. 7 games below 500. And July, 54-55. 3 games above 500 again in August, but by then it's too late. And so, like, their problem was June is what killed them, not April. So if they can start winning now, April hasn't killed them yet, but it's threatening to cause a giant crater again. And I get it. When you lose by 5 games, it could be the 5 games in April, the 5 games in June, the 5 games in August. It can be across the board. I'm with you.
But this road trip, they're 0-3, of course, to start the road trip.
Yep.
3 against a very good Yankees team. Before the road trip, said we would lock in 3-3. They have to sweep the Yankees just to get to 3-3 on the road trip, and there's no reason to believe, right, that they're doing that. Can they salvage 1 or 2 out of this series against the Yankees? 2
would be a miracle.
It feels like it. 2 feels like a miracle, absolutely. And that's still a 2-4 road trip.
What pitching matchups do they have?
Schlittler is going for.
He's good.
Yes,
the name is ridiculous, but he's very good.
I always have to say that one slowly. Schlittler.
Yeah. Tread lightly. Well, Walker's on the mound tonight, and he's been excellent. And then, of course, looks like it's Will Warren and Ryan Weathers.
But who do you trust if
By the way,
Royals...
they have the second best starting pitching ERA in baseball to the Royals, at least going into the game yesterday.
Let's say the Royals offense somehow does carry over from yesterday. And that's a big if. Big if. Let's say it carries over, and it's the 9th inning or the 8th inning
and it's
today.
A 2-run game.
And it's a Royals 4-2 lead or something. Who the hell do you trust to pitch in the bullpen right now? Ursek just blew up yesterday. I don't know if he's even available today, honestly. Daniel Lynch has been their best bullpen guy so far this season.
Yeah. Yes. And Ursek had been one of their better.
And I still trust Ursek long term. I'm not saying like now suddenly.
Bad day.
But is he available tonight? I don't know.
Maybe just let him. Well, you know what? Actually, sometimes it's like anything else. Let him get back out there. Because you're going to look at his ERA and you're going to see he's got a 6-run or a 6 ERA. That can't be good. He has, as I think Jake pointed out, been okay this year. He had given up. It's just weird because, like, with relievers, it's like when you have a bad day, you have bad, it costs you everything. They lost a game in which he gave up 2 runs to Milwaukee, in which he came in late.
Mears has had a terrible week.
Not me. I was talking about Ursek.
But Mears too.
And he'd given up 0 runs. Up until then, Ursek had 7 appearances and he'd given up a run in only 1 of them. He had gone scoreless and hitless in 4 of the 7 appearances, and then gave up 3. Of course, last night, Mears, I don't trust Mears at all. You got to get him out of leverage.
His last of course, yesterday we all saw that. 1 inning, 2 hits, earned run. He pitched in Detroit on the 14th, so that was the first game of the series. 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. That's his last 2 outings. Back-to-back, he's given up 3 runs in the last 2 outings. And he, as we said, for whatever reason, has been getting some of the highest leverage spots. All right, we'll talk more Royals baseball a little bit later on. Up next, though, something we did not have time to get to yesterday with the shortened show. The rivalry has been fueled a little bit for next December between KU and MU, with Tiller transferring to Mizzou. We'll talk about what it means for both programs next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Chain Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship, because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. BetMGM, authorized gaming partner of the NBA, has a special offer for the playoffs. Sign into your existing BetMGM account and snag a NBA playoff odds boost token. Then, take your shot at scoring more on your next win. Simply log in, add qualifying bet on the NBA playoffs to your bet slip, and activate the token. If you win your wager with the token attached, you'll pull down extra winnings and unrestricted bonus dollars. Talk about a fast break. Make BetMGM, authorized gaming partner of the NBA, your home for playoffs action with bonuses like odds boost tokens and more. Claim your odds boost token for the NBA playoffs and get in the game today. Make betting the playoffs more exciting. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Draft Spotlights are brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Only pay for what you need. Cornell Tate from Ohio State is the best receiver in this draft, and he's going to be the first wide receiver taken. First of all, he's big. He's been well coached, as all the receivers that come out of Ohio State are, but he's a difference maker because of his ability to adjust to the ball in the air, his route running, and he's a game changer. He could go as early as 5 to the team in New York. He could go to Cleveland at 6 or the team in Washington at 7.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug!
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay?
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
The may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Hey Kansas City, this is Cole Reagans. On your way home from the K, tune into Vern's postgame show right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I'm told this is Bryce.
Well, have you never listened to Bryson Tiller?
This is not Bryce. This is not who you think. His name is Bryson Tiller.
Oh, this is Bryson Tiller, the artist. Yes.
I thought you meant the player.
If the player was right, the player was. This would be.
This sounds pretty good.
This would be very. No. His name is. He's playing it because his name is the same as the.
Yeah,
basketball.
Bryson Tiller.
Yeah, they're two different people. But anyway, if you would not have told me that was Bryson Tiller, I would not have known that. But well done. We are going to talk a little bit about Bryson Tiller and his decision yesterday, I guess it was, to commit to Missouri. The former Kansas Jayhawk goes
the guts in that man to do that.
Columbia, Missouri. Let me first start with this. In case we needed any more proof than what we already have had for years, that the kids these days don't give a damn about rivalries or tradition or any of that. Here's another exhibit for you, okay? Very clear. This is something that would never have happened 10 or 15 years ago. Plain and simple. It just would never have happened.
It's the first time ever in this rivalry, Cody, that it's happened.
Okay, I couldn't think of another, so.
In this rivalry, it's the first time it's happened.
Like, take the NIL stuff out of it and why, obviously money is a big reason why he's going there and everything. I get it. I'm just saying they don't value that anymore. Plain and simple. This would never have happened a decade ago.
Maybe he just hates Kansas so much he felt like being
because
the first of his kind.
This is why we said, I think 2 weeks ago, you as a MU fan or you as a K-State fan or KU fan or whoever you root for that team, that program, because you like that program and maybe you went there or whatever it may be. Picking an athlete in today's day and age to be like, no, he's like my favorite player, whatever. Like
in college,
you shouldn't do that anymore. They do not care as much as you do. They don't give a damn. Very rarely. I told you the one example I will actually think is true about today's day and age. In a short period of time, someone did actually have that relationship with the fans. Melvin Council Jr. is the exception to the rule. I truly believe he ended up loving KU.
But you got him for 1 year.
But it was 1 year.
You know.
These other kids don't care. They don't. The kid that this even applies. It's going to happen with Missouri. The kid that they just got the top recruit, he's going to be there for a year maybe or whatever. He's not going to be some lifelong Mizzou fan either. No. This is what is happening. And yes, next December, I can't wait for KU-MU at T-Mobile Center. The fact that he left KU to go to MU is unheard of.
If it hasn't happened, I couldn't remember of an example. Somebody's pointing out maybe Christian Brown's brother had transferred maybe between the two. I don't know.
According to Eli Hoff out there at the St. Louis Dispatch, it is the first time that a men's player has switched directly from those two schools together.
It is kind of crazy to think about. Look.
He's reportedly getting $4 million, I think is the number I saw.
Yes.
So there's your answer.
Yeah.
If that number's true. I don't know if that's true. That's just been
look, we
reported.
can all say what we want, but if you work at, a manufacturing plant and their direct competition across the street offered you quadruple what your annual salary is, I bet your ass would leave too. The money makes it a lot easier to do this. Now, I will say, I found it one thing. We can talk about Carrington's insistence on social that Kansas is a dying brand, so I want you to address that momentarily. Can I tell you that it was hilarious to me that Flory Badunga, who has also left Kansas and is heading to Louisville, posted on Instagram essentially calling Bryson Tiller Judas, saying, I can't believe him. He's a traitor. He left Kansas, and he's actively saying what Bryson Tiller did is messed up. How funny is that? You left. You don't get to be calling out people for leaving, do you? Is Flory the right message, the wrong messenger? This makes you hate Tiller even more, right?
So
you still care about the rivalry. The players don't, right?
Yeah,
you want Tiller
that's
to
what
fail.
That's what I was just saying. Fans still care. I'm saying the players clearly don't care. They don't know what the rivalry means. They just don't. Going back 10 plus years ago, when you were at Kansas or at Mizzou for 3 years, you knew why the hate existed and all that. And I understand they've been in separate conferences for a very long time now and all that, but they have started playing again. They brought the rivalry back. It'll never be at the level it once was, but also the players do not care about something that happened in 2000. They don't care. They just don't. And that's not unique to the KU should do next year, right? The bar, we're talking about the bar for the Royals. The bar for Dennis Gates, at bare minimum, is second weekend next year.
Yes.
Bare minimum.
With that talent on the team, they should
It'd be a disappointing season to not get
They
to
should
the
expect
Sweet
to get to the Sweet 16. Yes.
No, I 100% agree. It would be a disappointing, very disappointing season to be there. Here's some of the tweets Carrington sent out about it. It would appear, let's see. Let me find the exact one. Somebody says, be better than Houston or Texas Tech. You know the teams are in your conference. Remember when they used to run that league, the good old days? He called it a dying brand. They can't hold on to their players anymore. Tiller used to be the kind of player who would start 4 years at Kansas and then be an All-American.
Well, that part is true, but that's just not where we're at in college basketball for anybody anymore, really.
But essentially his stance is that Bill Self and Kansas is a dying brand, and the logo of Kansas no longer means anything in college basketball, and they can't even hold on to their players. Your thoughts?
A couple things. On the point about KU was at their best when Bill Self could develop a player for 3 to 4 years. Of course, I think we all agree with that. That's obviously, yes. Again, 10 plus years ago, Bryson Tiller would be staying at Kansas this year, would continue to develop, and I think he's going to be a very good player. Right? That is absolutely true. The dying brand part, I'll just take that as Carrington trolling and wanting to try to get a reaction out of KU fans, and that's what he did. I saw on social media. I would say if a dying brand is going to a national championship and winning one in the last 4 years, getting still Whether it worked out or not is not the question. Still getting the number one recruit in the country last year, being in contention once again for the number one recruit in the country. If that's a dying brand, then holy crap, I don't know where we're at in college basketball anymore. Now, if you want to argue that Kansas, are they at the same exact level in terms of success?
They don't run the Big 12 the way
in the
they
last
used to.
couple of years in Big 12 championship after championship? No, they don't. But saying that they're now Iowa State also was a 2 seed this year in the tournament. So that's not like, is that supposed to be a shot now? Like, I mean, like
compared to Kansas, it feels like a shot.
It sounds like it, but Iowa State's a 2 seed. Like, if Kansas was a 2 seed, what are we talking about? The biggest knock on the dying brand thing is they won a national championship 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and with MMU fans won't like this, but it's just reality, which is if Kansas is a dying brand, won a title 4 years ago, what the hell is Missouri? What the hell are they? What are they?
In the grave, I guess, if that's the comp. The problem is, this might go back to the Flory thing. Maybe it is the right message that Kansas has had more trouble. Missouri is not the right messenger. Because, like, as a program,
it's typical Missouri behavior,
you don't get to, like,
you know?
You know, like, it's not an easy, because it's too easy to dismiss. Like, if you're a Missouri fan and you're like, gotcha, Kansas, you're like,
I do think
you're
that
the wrong
Carrington's
messenger.
comment,
You're the right messenger if you're Duke or Arizona. Hell, you're even the right messenger if you're like Arizona or Houston and you've been like doing more things in the Big 12.
Yeah, it comes across as saltiness.
He's just trying to troll. This is what Missouri fans do. It's April. They're excited about recruiting, or sometimes it happens with football as well.
They've had a great offseason.
I mean, right now the story of the Missouri athletic department is we can recruit, we can get all this talent, but we don't coach well enough, and we end up not meeting expectations. That's been the story for a while, but it's happened with Eli Drinkwitz at Mizzou with football, and we'll see what happens with Dennis Gates next year. But I will gladly make a bet with anybody if they want on what Missouri is going to do next year. If anybody wants to bet me that they're going to a Final Four or anything, I will gladly take the other side.
Will you take Kansas to go further? Would you take that blindly?
I need to see the roster first. I haven't.
Because there is no roster.
I need to see if Stokes commits to Kansas or not.
Kansas has had 7 kids now enter the portal. They're completely changing their roster.
Yeah, but it's not. But if you look at the guys who are entering, it's like,
some of them are
Flory
nobodies.
leaving is no surprise. Bryson Tiller leaving is no surprise. It's
But
Jamar
still, those are
McDowell.
good players. Let's not like.
Yeah, they're good, but I think they're not.
KU's excuse this season. Oh, and they got crushed for it. What are we talking about? Like, yeah,
we didn't give them an excuse. They fell short.
Yeah,
and we made fun of them.
KU got crushed for the season that they had, and Bill Self has been criticized for that. So, like, this is what happened. I'm saying, what is your bar for Missouri next year? They have a top tier recruiting class. They got one of the top big men in the country from their historical rival in Kansas. Next year, if Missouri just makes it to the second round of the tournament, that's a failure of the season. Absolutely is.
Yep.
I think it was Rick Pitino who did it. Well, he did an interview, I think, during the tournament, and he was like, NIL's not killing college basketball. NIL's killing the blue blood, where the brand, it might not be viewed as the same, but that doesn't mean that KU doesn't have a brand. Like, but both can be true, where, like you said, Gold,
there's no brand. The number one recruits wouldn't keep coming to your school.
Correct. Yeah. There's still an appeal to Kansas in some ways, but it's not the same as it was 10 to 15 years ago, because like we talked about with Bryson Tiller, and even recruiting in general, the players just don't care about the historical aspect of things anymore. And that's not just a KU thing. That's a North Carolina thing. That's a Michigan State thing, a Gonzaga. Like, you can go anywhere and win. And I think that concept for a player it has changed from, wow, this place is it's like when you play the college football video game and the players have different priorities when you're recruiting. A lot of them don't have program tradition as a key point for them anymore. It's brand exposure, it's playing time, and it's can I get to the league probably is what the 3 biggest ones are.
But in the NIL era, they're still winning. The Blue Bloods are still winning half the national championships, I would argue. 2022 Kansas, then UConn. Those are all Blue Bloods.
They're on like a 10-year run of not doing anything. Is hilarious. That's the way people talk about it. As if, is it different right now? Does Bill Self need to prove to people?
6 years.
Does Bill Self need to prove to people that he can continue to adapt and get this thing corrected? Sure, but it's not like he hasn't won anything for 15 years. You would think that it's been a 10 or 15-year drought of making it to Elite Eights and Final Fours and stuff. They won a national title technically when NIL was a thing.
The expectations for both teams next year should be the second weekend. Kansas, that's every year. Any year Kansas doesn't get to the Sweet 16, failure. You're Kansas. Sorry, it's like the Yankees or the Dodgers. You better at least get to the
without
DS.
seeing the roster at Kansas. I mean, the expectation should be getting to Elite Eights and Final Fours.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like, bare minimum request for any Kansas team is a Sweet 16.
I think Dennis Gates
but for next year's Missouri team, it's Sweet 16.
I think it's fair to say Dennis Gates is on the verge of being like Tom Crean was at Indiana. Great recruiting classes, a lot of high-profile guys you bring in, but you just couldn't get to, I think the furthest Tom Crean got was a Sweet 16. I don't even know if he got to an Elite Eight with all the talent that he had. I think if Mizzou misses the Sweet 16 and they're out in the first weekend, I don't think it would. If anything, I think everybody.
I think they would. It would show they didn't have the right guy.
Yeah, I think Dennis Gates would probably be gone if they lost in the first weekend, even if they won in the first round.
Can you not get better assistant coaches? Like, I know that's a silly question, but if you got that kind of talent in your building and you're identifying to this,
he's not getting better coaching from Dennis Gates than he was getting at Kansas from Bill Self. That's not.
There's no
world
from
where
a coach to coach comparison. No,
that's all I'm saying. Right. But when you look at his numbers from his freshman year, acting like that's just what Bryson Tiller is going to be is also not fair to him, right? Because he was only a freshman. You know, the Kansas got a transfer from Utah. The kid's a junior. He was much better than Bryson Tiller last year. Does that mean that Tiller can't become better than that? Of course, nobody's suggesting that he can't. But in the short term, there is a chance that they are going to get go time. It is go time for him at Mizzou.
Yeah, it's time, and he's had time to build up the program. Even though I argue in the NIL era, we should kill the whole, he just needs time to build a program. My ass.
How many years has he been there now?
Sig won a national championship in football in a year. Like, he took a whole year.
Gates got hired in 2022, so this is year 4.
So whether it's build a program or I don't think that it's not the same anymore. The same as we're talking about the Blue Bloods and that the expectations or that the rules have changed. The rules have also changed where you don't get to be like, well, I got to go to this program and I need 5 years to get everything in order. No, you don't. Anymore, you can immediately fix your entire roster problems.
I do think that Kurt Cignetti, in a way, it's weird because I think he's an anomaly, but it does hurt other coaches who are moving to top places because the expectation is that you can turn things around relatively quickly, where some coaches just aren't as good as Kurt Cignetti, but him having that much success early on makes that the expectation for everybody.
I know we're going to do Trash Today coming up in about 5 minutes or so. Is this a safe place to say something?
A safe place?
Nice?
Sure.
To say something nice about the
what?
Royals?
Yes.
About the Royals?
Yes.
I just want to say
what are you going to say? That their uniforms look good yesterday?
No,
what are you going to say?
No, I think yesterday sucked. The 2 days before that sucked. The team is having a hard time. But lost in the overall team failure, I think, is the fact that Jack Caglione has had a nice start to this season, and that should be acknowledged.
Okay.
He's not having home runs,
all right,
but he's hitting 273, 355 on base, 737 slug. That's about league average. So he's still low on the slug. I understand he doesn't have a home run yet. But 5 extra base hits, 4 doubles, and a triple. He's had a quietly, I think, perfectly fine, nice start to the season. Maybe better than average. If I had told you 273, 355 to start, you'd have said immediately.
He's the third best average on the team.
But he also probably has the second best on base percentage on the team. But the problem is that unless he puts the ball over the wall, people aren't going to notice. He has to hit home runs for people to notice. And I assume, or at least I hope, that that'll be the next stage of his development this year because he's striking out less, he's putting the ball in play more, he's walking more. I mean, these are all things you wanted to see out of Jack Caglione early, right? Or you just don't think anybody wants to hear anything nice right now?
There's got to be something positive to come out of this, sure.
Somebody says we consider 273 good now.
This isn't 2004 when everybody was hitting 320 or whatever. I will say, though, the CAGs part, the power is what people are expecting to see, Cody.
He's got a league average OPS, so he doesn't have no power. It's just not over the fence power yet. But he has 5 extra base hits.
273. Here's why citing batting average in general, though, this early in the season, it can change. Cody, he goes
0 for 5. He goes 5 for 5, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes 5 for 5, he's hitting over 300. It still changes that quickly right now.
I know, but the on base, but again, if he was hitting 150, somebody would be pointing it out to me.
I understand.
So I don't know why I can't point out.
I don't think today is the day people want to hear you talk about how Caglione's having a good start to the season or anything.
I see. You just don't think
not
it's
today. Not today.
Right
not after yesterday's devastating loss, in which they finally showed offense, and then the bullpen was absolutely abysmal, and Lucas Erceg lost the game for them.
Well, admittedly, that was pretty bad.
Do you think more people would view his season positively if he was batting 205 with 5 home runs than currently?
Maybe.
Some people would say, you know what?
Maybe.
Some people would.
I think the frustrating part is they probably would have won more games if they had done that because they're 0-5 in one-run games this year. This is worse than what the Chiefs were doing in one-score games last year. They can't win a one-run game to score to save their life. I will point out for the person who's 273, that would have been 35th best in baseball last year. Just it would have been better than Pete Alonso, but 1 point worse than Gunnar Henderson.
He has not.
Those
been
are
the
names you're familiar with.
He has not been the problem for them. The power, obviously, is something that I think everybody wants to see back. He's been actually much better defensively than he was last year. He actually maybe even improved. He improved. He improved way more defensively than anything. It looks like right now.
He saved a run, by the way, yesterday in what ended up being a one-run game.
Cody,
we thought it was going to be the other way. He saved a run by gunning a guy at home yesterday.
But right now, this team's on a long losing streak. They're in danger of maybe having a winless road trip. I don't want to hear about it.
If they had won yesterday, could I have talked about it?
Yes. That's how big yesterday was.
See, that's tough. Because I feel like we spent a lot of time last year talking about Jack Caglione and the clear struggles he had to open the season, and more than fair, because he did have a lot of struggles to do it. Somebody said the 5 games under, no silver lining. Now there's just somebody retexting it all the time to Dennis.
Yeah, look, I appreciate the text, but if you've said it 20 times, I'll be honest, if you said it 5 more times, we're going to have to block you. It's clogging up the entire text line.
Oof.
So I don't want to do it, but we're going to have to. You've now said another 10 times. So,
somebody on the text line, somebody in the 75
blocked.
did say they had a Vinny home run and a Royals money line parlay plus 1,000 for $50.
All right, we have to block the person. That's 25 for the same text. Sorry, man.
It literally is.
Sorry,
is your
man.
phone broken?
Yeah, sorry. Honestly, it's literally we can't read any of the other texts. Sorry, you just got blocked.
Can you unblock them if their phone stops breaking?
Maybe so. I mean, we've got
20, you got to let us know.
25 texts of the same thing.
Did you send in Dennis Gates cannot coach 45 times, or is your phone broken?
Yeah, I can't even read the other text because
there's no way that this person did this many times.
I don't know. Either way,
anyways.
Temporary block because we can't read the text line. All right, looks. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Okay.
According to
I did see this.
According to the New York Post, proceeded to decapitate the beast with a chainsaw. He then strapped the whale's enormous noggin to the roof of the family minivan with a bungee cord, intending once again to bring it home to study, grossing out the family at his dog pursuit of knowledge. Every time we accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour into the windows of the car, and it would be the rankest thing on the planet, she told the magazine. We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out, and people on the highway were giving us the finger, but that was just normal day-to-day stuff for us.
I'm just telling you right now, I'm not going on another family vacation for the rest of my life if any member of my family cuts off a whale head and attaches it to the top of the car, or makes us pull over to the side of the road to cut off a raccoon penis to study for later.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff we see in, like, The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. That's like genuinely questionable behavior. It's putting it in the mildest conceivable term. Gold, I would think I don't think I could host a show with you anymore. If we were on a road trip and you stopped and you were like, I'm going to cut off this raccoon penis and I want to study it later, I'd be like, I can't host a show with this person anymore. That could hurt me at any time. Who's to say what might happen next? I can't be lumped in with this.
So far, the story says, the results of Kennedy's whale head and raccoon penis studies have not been publicly disclosed.
Maybe just cutting off the head of a whale, right? Isn't there some like conservation stuff with that?
I do not know.
Okay.
But that was a story yesterday. Made the rounds a little bit.
That is a headline made for Trash of the Day, admittedly.
Oh, totally.
I mean, I in no way can deny the fact that is the most tailor-made.
Someone says raccoon penis toothpicks used to be a thing.
What?
Excuse me?
Oh, man, you're going to have to look that up. I don't think
That's a bad... Okay, here we go. Huh? Hey. Oh. This person's not lying.
What? Can you explain it more? What are you reading?
It says real raccoon made into a usable toothpick.
Was it a raccoon or raccoon penis toothpick?
I don't know.
How do they make the toothpick?
It says a moonshiner's toothpick is the penile bone of a raccoon used in traditional moonshining to guide distillate drip by drop from the still worm's pipe into a collection jar. Known for its curved shape, it prevents liquid from running back along the pipe, often dubbed I can't say that.
I mean, you can legit buy one on Etsy right now. Gold.
Huh.
Arkansas toothpick is the other name.
Well, that's the trash of the day. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about RFK Jr. allegedly chopping off a penis of a raccoon. That is the trash of the day here on Cody and Gold. They used it to distill moonshine. It's a real thing.
Okay.
Figured Cody was going to tell us that he's used it in baking methods.
As Drew pointed out earlier, that's some real backwoods stuff. That's some like I would expect to catch with like hill people in West Virginia, like deep in the country. Like, no real roads to be seen stuff is what that's.
I hunt it, I kill it, I skin them, cook them, eat them.
Shout out Xavier Leggett. That is.
I wanted the Chiefs to draft him just because he's a character. I wasn't even sure about him as a prospect.
Keon Coleman was a character too, and that hasn't worked out too well in Buffalo so far.
No, that is, yeah, both those guys. That is very true. All right, up next.
Okay, year, didn't he last year?
We'll, you mean Leggett? Yeah, Leggett was okay.
Yeah, he was
Keon
fine.
Coleman, of course, has been a disaster. Up next, Chiefs Red Half Hour, guys. Let's talk more about what Louis Riddick told us earlier in the week about Patrick Mahomes. Plus, we are a week away from the second day of the NFL draft. Let's take a look at a 2-round mock.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. BetMGM, authorized gaming partner of the NBA, has a special offer for the playoffs. Sign into your existing BetMGM account and snag a NBA playoff odds boost token. Then, take your shot at scoring more on your next win. Simply log in, add qualifying bet on the NBA playoffs to your bet slip, and activate the token. If you win your wager with the token attached, you'll pull down extra winnings and unrestricted bonus dollars. Talk about a fast break. Make BetMGM, authorized gaming partner of the NBA, your home for playoffs action with bonuses like odds boost tokens and more. Claim your odds boost token for the NBA playoffs and get in the game today. Make betting the playoffs more exciting. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Save $10 on a pair of Bosch Focus wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Growing a brand is hard, but reaching the right customers shouldn't be. Meet Outcomes from Viant. We've built an intelligent platform that handles the complexity of digital advertising for you. Powered by advanced AI, we help your brand show up in the right places at the right time and ensure that every dollar you spend leads to a real business result. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Royals coverage on The Fan, sponsored by Salvation Army Kick Hunger Civic Lunch on May 7th. Get ready to kick off a summer of soccer in Kansas City while fighting hunger. Join the Salvation Army for the Kick Hunger Civic Lunch 2026 May 7th. Score big for local families in need. Grab your tickets or table today at kickhungerkc.com. That's kickhungerkc.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour is brought to you by Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself, build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police. A reminder, coming up a little bit later on, about an hour and a half from now, it is a Fan Club Friday. Rob Britton around 1:30 is going to stop it. Of course, producer of The Drive. We'll talk more about KUMU and the transfer portal. We'll talk some soccer as there's some updates on the World Cup this week, including a little more on the transportation, how people are going to get to these stadiums. We'll ask him about the plan, including a little bit more about the Beyond Pitch KC podcast he's been doing. We'll have some fun in the 1 o'clock hour. But let's talk a little Chiefs football. This time next week, we'll be in Pittsburgh. We will be getting set for night 2 of the NFL draft at this point in time. And Louis Riddick was on with us earlier in the week from ESPN, and we asked him a lot about the prospects. But also, I asked him when he thinks Patrick Mahomes will be ready, and basically said, like, the last thing we got to worry about is Patrick Mahomes.
I just know that the dude is just uniquely committed to being the greatest ever. Their training room down there, Rick Burkholder, is someone who I've known since I was their head trainer, someone I've known since I was 18 years old. He was our trainer at the University of Pittsburgh. I've known him ever since then. I trust him with my life, with my family's life. He's given us so much advice from a medical perspective, training room perspective. I can call him up at any. He will do whatever he has to do to give Pat a chance to be on that field. Then Pat will take care of the rest. I don't know. And if he isn't, he'll be on there soon after. If there's one guy you can go to bed at night feeling comfortable of paying $500 million, it's Patrick Mahomes.
I guess, do you view it that way as far as like this season and the way that they're going into it? Is he at the bottom of the list of concerns? Because Chiefs have plenty of concerns. Mahomes coming back from an injury being at least one of them. But is it like 10th on your list, 11th on your list? Riddick making it seem like
in terms of getting back to who we're used to him being? Is that
yeah?
What
I'm not worried that Patrick Mahomes is just never going to be the same quarterback. But the first month of the season, I think it should not be expected that he just looks full go, Patrick Mahomes making the crazy plays with his legs and all that.
Maybe that's what was interesting about what Brett Veach said yesterday when he said we might need to run more early. Yeah, essentially is what he said.
Well, they got to protect him. Yeah, they got to protect him, and it's why I think the run game and how what did he say? He said, "Look, we're not going to be throwing 50 or 60 times in the first early in the season." He said something along those lines. So long term, no, I'm not worried that Patrick Mahomes will not be the same player. No. But in September, part of October, will he just be his normal self? I think that's a pretty optimistic way of looking at it. I think there's a real chance that they have to protect him even more than normal the first month. Protect him from himself the first month. But as far as like doing everything to put himself in position to play and everything to maximize it, then yeah. I mean, Louis Riddick's right. I'm not worried about that. This is what Veach said yesterday, by the way, on Mahomes and trying to help him out, maybe a bit more than normal.
And look, it'll be beneficial for Pat too. I don't think we want him back there dropping back 50, 60 times a game, to start the season. So, I think that is going to be something we're looking forward to. And certainly with EB coming back here, I think, with his running back roots, there's going to be a high priority with that run game. So
what they do in September, let's say they run the ball a lot more in September and we get all excited. They're like, they're passing, but they're also having some balance and it's effective. Let's say that happens. I don't think we should just assume that is the plan all year. And that's where the conversation will be interesting is we're going to say early on, maybe, Cody, like, wow, look, they actually are willing to hand the ball off on RPOs and things like that or go under center. By November, though, if Mahomes is going...
It's all out the window.
Like, that would be my concern in a weird way.
Honestly, though, that would be a good thing in a weird way because I think that defenses, if they got used to 6 weeks of RPOs that led to more run, more under center runs, that might, for the first time in 3 years, give them the ability to actually open it up. Yeah. They do not respect and have not respected the Chiefs' running game in forever. The difference is it actually has to work, though. Like, in fairness, had they just run the ball the first 4 weeks last year, was that going to solve it? No, they were bad at running.
Yeah.
They had bad running backs. So, like, that wouldn't have solved their issues last year. No one respected their running game. Even when it got to a point in which they should and probably could have run more, they couldn't because they weren't efficient at it. That's the whole Kenneth Walker thing and it's all this other stuff. It's funny as far as like my concerns over the secondary, the defensive line, if the receivers are going to produce. To Riddick's point, I would put Mahomes' availability week 1 and Mahomes' ability after the injury like 7th on my concern list for
I
the
think you have
Chiefs.
to separate the two, though, right? Like his availability week 1 is still toward the top of the list of concerns. I know everybody's confident for sure, but
I
like
guess
that's
I'm not
not
worried if he's not available week 1. Like, so what?
Well, in a year in which I think that they might just be trying to be a wild
Could
card,
matter.
not trying to be. When I think they might be a wild card team, every game matters. Well, I think we'll feel differently about that once we see the schedule. Like if all of a sudden they open up against
Jets and the Cardinals,
then maybe I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried about it either way. Justin Fields can win a game. But if it's Cincinnati and
Baltimore,
the Rams or whatever or something, it's a different feeling.
My current working conspiracy is they won't want to make it too obvious in the schedule, but it'll be kind of obvious. As in, 2 of their first 3 games, I think 2 of the 3 teams will be Jets, Cardinals, and Raiders. Two of those 3 teams will be in the first 3 weeks, and then they'll have a squeeze one against like the Ravens.
Like if week 1's
they'll have like a squeeze one of like a difficult opponent, so it's not too obvious. But 2 of the 3 will be like layups.
They know no differently than us, though, if he's going to be back. Like they might put the schedule that way just in case, but it's not like
they're not supposed to operate that way.
It's not like if it's Jets and Cardinals to open the season, it's not like they're doing that because they know Pat's not going to be available until week 3.
But it could be protecting their TV partners, right? That's the part that they can do. And I don't know. I mean, look, could you imagine if we get the schedule in week 1, they're opening up at Denver or something? He better be ready. He better be ready to go. Like if it's week 1 at Denver.
But that's why I just don't think they'll do that to them. Even though that's not supposed to be factoring into the decision making in a lot of ways, other than the teams who are bidding for the Chiefs later in the year.
They've been the best team over the course of the last 5 to 7 years. So yeah, it makes sense though that they would do that for them.
But I think it'll be like Raiders, Jags, Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah, you said that.
Yeah, it'll be like Raiders, Jags, Cardinals will be the first 3 games. That's my official prediction. Where it's like Jags, where it's like, it's a good team.
They better be.
No one can argue they're not a good team, but also like, not the best team. They didn't put the Bills or Cincinnati or the Broncos. Like, they're not going to put one of those in the
If they
first
start
3.
out with those 3 games, it's unacceptable if they're 1-2 or worse.
What if it's Justin Fields?
I still think
Then
it's.
you think they should still go at least 2-1?
It still might be unacceptable.
Dang.
If they're 1-2. With those 3 opponents, Jets, Cardinals, and Raiders.
And we don't even know do we think Fernando Mendoza is going to start week 1?
No. I think Kirk Cousins is starting week 1.
So you actually want the Raiders early, right? Wouldn't you rather face Kirk Cousins? You know what you're getting in that.
Ooh,
for the Chiefs, yeah, I would rather face Mendoza than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'd rather face Mendoza first.
Yeah. I mean, we're still talking about an inexperienced quarterback that's just not going to see the defense as well.
Even though Kirk Cousins is a statue.
Cousins, is he good anymore?
He's limited now, but he's still
stinks.
But Fernando Mendoza, though, handling certain situations, handling NFL speed of the game, like that could still be an adjustment for him early on in his career.
I'll tell you what, Cody, if the Chiefs do have an improved pass rush, you want Kirk Cousins actually starting because that man is a statue back there.
Yeah,
if that pass rush is actually better, then maybe that'd be the argument for Kirk Cousins because he can't move.
Yeah. And they still don't have an offensive line. They haven't had a good offensive line in
I would still
forever.
rather play Fernando Mendoza, though, just for the reason that he's the rookie. It's his first game.
I think signing Kirk Cousins made it to where I will almost be shocked if assuming Kirk is healthy, if he's not starting week 1. Now, it doesn't mean he's starting all year. No, I
would that
don't
kind
think
of be?
so.
I know it's a little bit different because he's the number 1 overall pick, but would that kind of be like a Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson type of scenario where we paid Matt Flynn to come in, but but
Mendoza can still win the job.
It wouldn't be the
camp.
exact same thing, but I don't know if there's any similarity to that concept. Where
That's exactly what happened. They draft. I mean, and
Seattle,
it's easier because it's the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
Look, if you get into training camp and you go through all summer. And Mendoza looks way better than Kirk Cousins.
You have to play Mendoza.
Play Mendoza. Yeah. Don't waste your time.
Sure.
You're eventually going to him anyway. That's an inevitability. That's not like a possibility. It's an inevitability.
Part of
so if he's better than him in the offseason, well, then that's the person you're starting.
Part of it is, did they feel they did a good enough job? They have a strong enough offensive line to protect him. You don't want to have
That's a
your
good point.
first round pick, your first overall pick, your future franchise quarterback behind a bad O-line. So can you protect him? Otherwise, you're throwing him in there and you're asking him to get hurt.
They got to be in the tackle market. They should build the line the way we keep talking about with the Chiefs. They should draft like 4 offensive linemen. Their line stinks.
What other picks do the Raiders have? I know next week we're going to check in with each of the AFC West opponents and get their feeling of how they think their draft's going to go. So the Raiders, okay, they just have the 1, and then 36th overall, 67th. They have 3 4th-round picks, a 5th,
That's
2 6th,
helpful
and a
for them.
7th. So.
They have 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 3 4ths, a 5th, 6th, 2 6th, and a 7th. They got plenty of picks.
Yeah.
Now, same thing applies. I think if you're letting Tom Brady choose any of these, you're an idiot. I think you're just a dumb organization.
He's
it's a terrible idea.
So I wonder how much, and I don't know the answer to it, but I don't know if we'll really get the clarity on it for years, but he's clearly involved, but also like, I don't want to, I think now it's gone overboard. We're acting like Tom Brady literally is the guy that's out there making trades and stuff. He's not the GM. He is
clearly has the ear of Spytech.
Totally. He is clearly involved, but like this is not John Elway, GM of the Broncos. He is not the general man. It's not John Lynch, GM of the 49ers. Brady is not the GM. He just definitely has influence, but like I don't want to make it sound like every move they make, he's signing off on.
But he was like the big Geno Smith guy, and he's obviously been and Spytech is his guy. So it's like he's got some organizational power.
Totally.
They chose his GM. They chose his quarterback in the last offseason. They chose his coach.
Yeah.
The last time, I don't know about this time. I don't know who's the big push behind Kubiak, but still, they've
I don't think he has as
much
much power, but Troy Aikman's doing stuff with the Dolphins now, isn't he?
He's got some role. I don't know what his title is. He is still broadcasting, of course, on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
What was the name? What did he get hired?
Like he has some sort of involvement as like a not liaison, but almost like a advisor.
Draft
or something along
room
those lines?
consultant. Okay, so
Sure.
he's just a consultant aiding in quote front office decisions and participating in their draft process.
So it's
he will
kinda like-
not be consulted on specific picks. He's expected in the draft room though, and helping influence strategy. So
Does he watch enough college football to be having an opinion on that?
But let's see. So
he can
it's weird, though.
watch tape though.
I'd rather have Kirk Herbstreit doing it.
But he can watch tape and know potentially how it translates at the next level.
Do you know why though we're not? What makes what Troy Aikman's doing different than what Brady's doing? Because we're not.
Aikman's not part of the ownership group. That's
that
the
might
difference.
be okay.
But I get what you're saying.
Because the conversation, nobody's talking about Aikman as. I mean, he's broadcasting games, but he's
There's still a problem. He's
evidently a
using
part
some of the
process.
evidence from sitting in these broadcast meetings and using it hypothetically to assist Miami.
Yeah,
there is
yeah.
definitely,
But it says-
totally agree. There is definitely a conflict of interest part of that.
I think it's different. I mean, if they're true to their word and this is his role, this is why it's different. Not only is he not an owner, he is a consultant for the draft and for front office decisions. He's not a consultant for coaching hires. He's not a consultant
Quarterback
for
decision,
quarterback. You know,
Game plan.
Now,
Yeah.
now front office decision is broad. That can mean a lot of things, but I think that's the difference. I get why you're like, huh?
Okay.
But I think it's different because ownership and he is not year round going to be in there and helping them, make trades or tell them who they should sign and stuff. The way it sounds like Brady clearly is.
Do they have Mendoza going 1 in this mock draft?
Oh, I mean, that would be a
Or
stunner,
is it
wouldn't
a
it?
wild mock draft? They got him taken.
Mel Kiper
Ty
Jr.
Simpson.
The first time that we have gone to Mel, I believe.
Mr. Shedeur
this
Sanders
entire
himself.
offseason. Yeah.
Respect for Mel last year after his
If the Raiders didn't take
absolute
Fernando
meltdown over Sanders.
If the Raiders didn't take Fernando Mendoza for whatever reason, Mel Kiper would probably flip his lid again. I bet.
I lost a little respect for him after. I mean, he lost his mind over Sanders last year.
We were in day 3 at round 4, and he was still going on and on about it. I do think it
couldn't let it go.
It got a little ridiculous. But Mel Kiper does have Fernando Mendoza going number 1 to the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, the same with Dane Brugler, as Tom McShay, Mel Kiper, Cowboys trade up to number 6 to take Sonny Styles. That is the one big trade in this one. He has the Chiefs taking Jordan Tyson at number 9, passing on.
Are they one of the 18 teams at his workout today? I saw there's 18 teams at his workout today.
Is that list out of teams who are there? I saw that there were 18 teams as well, Cody. I would assume that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
But
they're
people are mad at Drew for playing the siren of all days today. Well, that's
later.
it's a mock draft siren. There's storm. It's not 3 in the afternoon.
It's not 3. Yes, correct. It is not. It's not 3 p.m. yet.
Yeah.
You worried about hail today?
I am worried.
Drew's going to go park his car at Dave & Buster's, he says.
I'm going to do something.
I want to talk more about the potato-sized hail that one meteorologist put out there a little bit. We'll get to that.
I'm slightly worried. But Jordan Tyson at number 9. Colton Hood, a name that we've had some familiarity with recently. Cornerback from Tennessee at 29. Surprise, surprise, Cody. Your favorite spot for a corner for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
and then number 40, a new name, Mason Thomas, outside linebacker / edge for Oklahoma. The reasoning behind Mason Thomas at 40, going back to just some of the players who have left, Thomas can pitch in 15.5 sacks, 25 tackles for loss over the last 2 seasons. So definitely been some college production there from Mason Thomas.
Okay. So he's an outside linebacker, but they think he can just be a down, like hand in the dirt defensive lineman, obviously,
I believe
if the Chiefs
so,
are taking him.
Yeah, that's what it sounds.
Versus a 3-4 outside.
NFL Network said red flag medicals, though, on durability for him.
As you pointed out, that's sometimes good news for the Chiefs.
He was an edge in college, or his position at least was labeled as edge in college.
Who are the players available when they took Jordan Tyson? Can I ask who went ahead?
Yeah, who went ahead or who went after?
Who went ahead? Well, I guess a little of both, because I want to know.
Sure.
Downs and Bailey and Bain and all those guys.
So obviously Bailey Reese out. Jeremiah Love to 4 to the Titans. Downs is gone. Sonny Styles is gone. Carnell Tate to the Commanders at 7. Ruben Bain Jr. just ahead of the Chiefs at 8.
That'd be a tough run out for the Chiefs at 9.
The Chiefs took, again, Tyson over Mantor Delane, Maui Noah, Caden Proctor, Mekhi Lemon, Spencer Fano, Sadiq at 15. So, yes, a lot of the guys that they would think would be gone.
Yeah, I'm definitely not anti-Jordan Tyson. I think today's an important day. He's going to run later on this afternoon, run routes. How do they think he looks there? And as we have said, the Chiefs medical staff from a draft evaluation process, if they take him at 9, they clearly feel good about it moving forward. But man, it is dangerous though to take a player with the injury history that he has all the way up at 9. This is not, it's pick 29 and you can have a little more risk. You got to be sure that checks out. But from a high ceiling, fans would be excited, I think, if they took Tyson because of the potential. But, man, I'd be terrified that we're going to be sitting here halfway through next season and he all of a sudden has a hamstring injury. I'm like, oh, boy, he's out for a month. And it's like that's the big concern with him.
Is the way that things have gone just over the last couple of years where, I mean, even if they took Mekhi Lemon, not that you'd be worried about it from a medical standpoint, but just that he would fit the offense and it would work. Like, I feel like it doesn't matter who, like if they, let's say it is wide receiver at 9, any of the 3 guys.
Sure.
Is it just a worry anyways because of the way that Xavier Worthy hasn't really panned out so far? Rashee Rice, of course, with the off-the-field stuff. Sky Moore, the way that it happened. Tony, I know that those guys we think would be better, but it still would make me a little nervous even still, I guess. Just can this guy be what they're expecting him to be at number 9? Like, he could be a fine wide receiver, but are you taking Carnell Tate at 9 with that expectation? Are you a little bit worried regardless that he can fulfill that potential that you're hoping for out of a top 10 pick?
I think we all agree if you take a receiver at 9, that player should have a significant role immediately. But I will say...
But that might be 500 or 600 yards.
But I will say Tate is way more ready to have the instant impact than Tyson and Lemon, in my opinion, as far as in 2026.
Depends on if Tyson's healthy.
You know, I think in terms of who is most pro-ready, doesn't mean they're the better receiver. And that, pro-ready. Like, in 2026, who could have the easiest adjustment to the league? I think Tate is that guy. Tyson still could end up being the way better receiver, though, and so that's the trade-off.
Yeah, first off, we've mentioned this before that I like Lemon out of the grouping, but it's weird because the skill set difference between the two is kind of all over the board. Some are more athletic. Like Lemon's just the better athlete in a lot of ways. Tyson's the better athlete. Tate is the more, like you said, probably today polished version of a product. But Tyson could just end up being that steady, ready, 1,000-yard, the kind of guy I thought they were getting in Rice for a while until he started getting in trouble. And I didn't think he was a long-term option in Kansas City because I wouldn't even be entertaining a player like Tyson if I thought Rice was going to be here long-term because that's what I want Rice to be. Give me 1,100 yards. Go on about your business. Rice is pretty good about that when he plays.
If you knew Rashee Rice
when he's on the field.
If you knew Rashee Rice was a given actually to stay, I don't even know if they would consider taking a wide receiver at 9.
I think they'd consider taking a wide receiver depending on their faith in Xavier Worthy, but maybe not taking one that profiles to do some of the things that Rice currently does.
Yeah, I think edge would definitely be, edge or corner would be more of the likely pick at 9. If you knew Rashee Rice was going, if Rashee Rice you knew was going to be here in the long term. I don't know if 9 is, I don't know if wide receiver is as big of a need, quote unquote, as the edge or the corner side is, where you could take a wide receiver at 29 or at 40 and just deal with it.
All drafts are hard, and this is why 9 it's more tempting. Brett Veach's evaluation of wide receivers has been lacking, I think would put it nicely. Now, here's the problem. Rashee Rice technically is a perfectly good find. That's a good find. You got a 938-yard season out of your rookie wide receiver. That was second best by a mile because Puka was in that draft, I think. But it was still really good. And so, but like Jalen Royals at this point has been a total whiff. Sky Moore was a total whiff. Like they've spent some, and McCormick was fine, but that range has been kind of tough for Brett Veach. So do I want them taking another second round? Are they going to get it right this time? Are they not? Like, that's the temptation for 9. And also, if they got it right, like if they took Tyson Gold and they got it right, it goes from question mark all of last season to one of the better wide receiver units in the NFL. Like, if they get it right immediately.
That's how big of a swing it would be. Yeah.
Yes.
I would think so.
Just because if Rice is healthy and Worthy is even competent, even if he's only slightly competent, if they get the pick right at 9, they are a great
and
receiving
the
unit.
offensive line at least is 4 deep, where maybe you'd have to worry a little bit about Jalen Moore, I suppose, but still, like your everything would be set up the way that you would like it to be offensively, with the running back upgrade, with the wide receiver room looking as good as it would. Yeah, for sure.
I hear more every day that they're going to take a tackle at 9.
Based on yesterday, if you believe what Veach said yesterday, you would think that they're for sure taking a tackle with one of their first 2 picks. 913-586-7965. Someone says, Gold, you're being a hypocrite. You said taking Tyson at 9 is a risk because of injuries, but okay with Bain at 9. He has on and off the field red flags. 2 different conversations, right? Like we were talking about the reason why you would maybe not want Tyson would because of injury. That's different than saying you don't like Bain or like Bain and you're worried about the
speed or short arms.
Speed. Like, those are literally 2 different conversations. Like, that's not the same thing. So I don't think it's being a hypocrite at all. If you told me Ruben Bain had the exact same injury history and I was telling you that I'm not worried about his injury history, but I was about Tyson, then that'd be hypocritical. Me liking Bain and saying Tyson's injury concerns me is not. They're 2 different things. They're 2 different. The concerns about Bain are not the same concerns about Tyson.
Bain,
it's like 2 different things.
As a prospect, Bain's a real challenge for me because I'm really lukewarm on it. But I know if they take him at 9, I'll talk myself into it. Like, I just know.
As everybody.
I'm not saying, like, I don't do that with every prospect. I don't. There's guys that I hate from jump, right? We talk about FAU. Where I'm like, I don't want this pick. I'm not interested. And I don't talk myself into it by the time it comes around. I can feel it with Bain that I am very lukewarm and scared, and in a lot of ways, don't want them to take Bain and instead take someone else.
Then you'll go back and watch his CFP tape, and yes, you'll be like, yes, please. But if they take
Bain, I'm absolutely going to talk myself into he's the goods.
Yeah, the excitement of Bain is...
With him, it's an easy one.
Top 10 pick at an elite position, that's going to be exciting. And so you're going to think, oh my gosh, did they find their complementary piece to Karlaftis and Chris Jones or whatever, versus they take an offensive tackle, and you're like, oh.
Dude dominated the college football playoff. You would definitely you'd be going back and watching the highlight videos while you guys are at the hotel in Pittsburgh.
Nate Taylor said it best. It's like, if they take a tackle at 9, he better be Mitchell Schwartz. We talk about like Jameer Gibbs, some of these other ones. We don't like doing that with offensive tackles, but we should. If they take an offensive tackle at 9 for the first time picking in the top 10,
especially when they don't really need to. Yes,
since the first time since taking Patrick Mahomes and trading up in there, he better be Mitchell Schwartz. He better play for your team for 10 years and be literally 0 questions, none. Just a perennial Pro Bowler that everybody doesn't question is one of the best right tackles in football. That's what you better get.
Would you feel the same way about Kenyon Sadiq at 9?
That he's got to be one of the better. Like, he doesn't have to be Travis Kelce. Yeah. Let's not be insane.
Yeah.
Somebody put out a stat yesterday of the top 10 receiving seasons in tight end history. Travis Kelce has 1, 3, 4, 5, and 9. He has 5 of the best tight end receiving seasons ever. So he doesn't have to be Kelce.
You don't want him to be a top 8, top 5 tight end.
He doesn't even necessarily have to be Bowers, but he's got to be in the 5 range, 5 to 6
in that upper
range.
echelon.
Yeah, because I think that's just like a big swing in an offense, and it's hard to draft a tight end and just have the best one, But can he at least be what like Tyler Warren was before he was hurt or whatever? Can he be a really good one? Is the best tight end in the league right now Trey McBride? Including
probably.
health?
Probably.
I mean, he had 1,200 yards last year, right? Didn't he? So, I mean, it's kind of...
He was used so much, yeah.
Right now, I think you would have to.
It is really a group of like 4 or 5 guys that you could... Like, if you told me Travis Kelce's the best tight end in football still, I would probably believe you. If you said Brock Bowers, I'm taking him 1.
He got hurt last year, so we don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by the Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police.
And of course, our draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of Blue. We're going to be out in the draft, Gold, in like a few days? We fly out next Wednesday. We'll be there no time. By this time next week,
Does it
we'll
feel
already
like
know
it's
who the
getting
Chiefs take in the
closer,
first round.
Does it feel like it's almost
I'm really
time?
bad about travel. I don't do the anticipatory stuff very often, so it doesn't feel like anything yet, and then all of a sudden I'll be on a plane next week. I've done literally nothing to prepare myself.
There's really nothing
for
to
We're
do
only going
yet.
for 3 days.
It's
so
a quick
like,
I meant from the, it feels like the draft's here.
Yes.
We've been building this up forever, it feels like. Yeah.
I'm tired of talking mock drafts. I'm ready to talk about real players.
Yeah, I'm excited for the actual draft to take place. As
Yes.
far as Pittsburgh as a whole, we're not going to have a ton of time to check out the city, I don't feel like, the way it's setting up, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited to head out there for the draft, though. We'll have some fun, put some stuff out on social media as well. We'll be broadcasting from PNC Park, home of the Pirates, on Thursday and Friday, and getting set for the draft. And then we'll hopefully the Chiefs draft somebody that is actually there in Pittsburgh, because that'd be a lot of fun. Then we have a chance to actually talk to that player on site there. So that's the hope, that one of the players they draft is actually in Pittsburgh.
That'd be
cool.
nice. And then we would get a chance to talk to them,
Coming up next, let's get to what's trending. We'll also get right back into the Royals and the gut punch of a loss yesterday in Detroit.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
NBA fans, listen up. You can enter FanDuel's Play-In Palooza for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets every day of the Play-In tournament. All you have to do is place a live bet using your Play-In Palooza token. Then you'll automatically be entered for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. So don't just watch the NBA Play-In tournament like tonight. Make sure you go to FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com/local to get in on the action. And don't forget to enter FanDuel's Play-In Palooza for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Go to FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local. Play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Limit 1 entry. Profit boost bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost token. Prizes issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Odyssey Sports Draft coverage is presented nationally by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Draft Spotlights are brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Only pay for what you need. I think Jeremiah Love might be the most talented player in this entire 2026 draft. When I watch him at Notre Dame, in any game over the last 2 years, he's the best player in the field, averaging almost 7 yards a carry, and he's a great receiver, catching almost 60 passes in the last 2 years. I could see Jeremiah Love going as early as to that team in Arizona at 3, to that team in Nashville at 4, or maybe that team in New York at 5.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug!
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya, guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here or wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue.
Hey Royals fans, it's Seth Lugo. Don't miss Vern's on Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. What's trending is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lot.
We'll start with the Royals. We're going to talk more about them, I promise, right after what's trending and the gut punch of a loss yesterday. They are in New York tonight. A 6:05 first pitch. Vern's on Deck show at 5 o'clock. Michael Wacha, who has been sensational, is on the mound. They'll go up against Cam Schlittler of the Yankees right here on 96.5 The Fan.
A lot of ways to say that wrong. I don't know if I need a break. I don't know if I just need like a game to like reset. But also we're going to be dealing with the weather later tonight. So we'll see.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. It's apparently it's gotten even worse with the meteorologist expecting the severity. Yeah, we'll get to that. I just saw from over at 41, Wes Peary just sent out a tweet. Said our severe risk has increased. Now a 4 out of 5. Confidence growing in widespread severe storms after 2 in the evening. Threats include tornadoes, very large hail, and wind gusts over 80 miles an hour.
If you get hail, my friends at Century Roofing will take care of you. Next up on What's Trending, a new NCAA proposal would eliminate the need for Week 0 waivers and exemptions, moving the start of the season up 1 week for every single team. I have long advocated Week 0 is stupid, and they shouldn't allow the NCAA teams to do it. Letting them play a preseason game when they only get 10 to 12 games, 12 to 13 games anyway, before the college football playoff, it's silly. Just have them play a regular game, whether you count it or not. We'll see whether that takes place. They're also just trying to change the eligibility to something you and I both like, which is just 5 years. Mm-hmm. You get 5 years. Like it or not, it's 5. No more waivers. No more going to court for Trinidad Chambliss. Just, it's 5 years. It's a clear and defined rule. The problem is, all these things, the question is, if any of it is enforceable when you do not have a collectively bargained agreement. And so they constantly end up back in court.
I just got back into is it still the pitch?
It's a proposal.
Right. Yep.
Proposal.
Elsewhere on What's Trending, former Eagles wide receiver, Super Bowl champion wide receiver, I believe, Alshon Jeffrey, facing up to 5 years in prison after being arrested for insurance fraud earlier this week, according to TMZ.
Dang. Crazy. 5 years? Alshon had a nice career, I thought.
Well, got greedy. Got greedy. Yeah, he was a Super Bowl standout. Let me see if any more specifics on this. This comes from TMZ. Reporter was taken into custody for conceal/fail to disclose insurance benefit or payment. And has since been released. No other details of the rest were disclosed. His agent and representation says he categorically denies the allegations.
All right, what do you think he made, Drew? What's your guess, Gold? What's your number on Alshon?
Alshon?
What do you think he made?
$46 million. That might be high.
Oh, man.
That might be high, actually.
I'll go $63 million.
Exactly $63 million.
Sure. I'll just guess.
Ding, ding, ding.
63 and change.
I thought, like, legit?
No, not 63.
Okay.
Not even kidding. You're only up by $1,459. He made $63,001,049.
Complete guess.
So, good number. Very good
Barely,
number for
the underlying incident was a minor freeway fender bender and provided his information at the scene. The statement read, "They're unfounded allegations. Insurance fraud, punishable up to 5 years in prison, $50,000 in state."
So even to him, he's probably got a good lawyer. He's not going to jail for 5 years. Next up on What's Trending, Advent Health 400 at Sunday this weekend at the Kansas Speedway.
Let's go.
Kyle Larson currently the favorite.
Oh, yeah, I'm going.
For the race. Drew will be out there. You can have some ciders and a cooler, little sandwich. You pack your own food?
Oh, 100%. I'll have snacks. I'll have everything to stay hydrated out there because the weather looks a lot better than it did a week ago when I checked.
It's supposed to be like sunny and 70 on Sunday. It's supposed to be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be very,
Stay
very
hydrated.
nice.
It's going to be gorgeous.
Why don't you go with your son to the race?
Settle down.
I don't think they want to go to the race.
Oh, no, I mean Desmond.
My adopted son?
I mean Desmond.
My adopted son? My attempted adopted son and Drew. We have a real father-son moment. I can make you a peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Gosh. Next on What's Trending, Live Golf CEO confirming that the Saudi funding will end at the end of this season, but says they have a plan that, quote, might surprise some people. He rolled out his plan at Augusta ahead of Live Golf's Mexico City event, but you probably saw this news earlier in the week that the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund is going to stop giving money to golf to that league after this season. Quote, the reality is you're funded through the season and you work like crazy as a business to create a business plan to keep us going, but that's not any different from any other private equity funded business in the history of man. So we'll see if they actually make it through.
They're done.
They should be done.
That's it. Good. I didn't like them in the first
Was
place.
that short-lived? Is that what you're saying?
This is
it was.
by the way, we should make fun of Live Golf the same as we make fun of the UFL when they go belly up. They only could make it a couple of years and then they had to ship it all away. I mean, I guess at least they got
a lot more funding.
top.
Yeah. They had to have more funding, too.
Hell of a more runway. Lastly, on What's Trending this weekend is WrestleMania 42. 2 nights in Las Vegas, Saturday and Sunday at Allegiant Stadium for the second straight year. Alex and I both said before, we're not big. Neither of us really watch wrestling. But, WrestleMania is a huge deal, so we got to include it in What's Trending. I do occasionally, once or twice a year, get together with a group of friends who are big into wrestling and just hang out. Socially, they have to explain a lot to me. I don't know anything that's going on.
That's the thing.
I don't know anything that's going on. I'm like, who's Jey Uso and why is he mad at this other guy? Like, I gotta ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. I know people love it though. Like I know it's gonna do massive numbers and it's sold out there at Allegiant, as you said, in Vegas. Just never something that I got into, but I know plenty of people listening are into it as well. It's a big deal this weekend, and one day maybe we'll have WrestleMania here with the new stadium.
Do you think you could name of the let's call the general top 10 most popular
right now currently
wrestlers currently?
Oh gosh,
do you think you could name 2?
I'm gonna guess a few. There's current ones. I only know like 1 or 2 names.
Okay,
The Miz. Is he still a thing, or is that already outdated?
This is one person's list.
I know he's a wrestler, but is he still a thing?
He's not in the top 10 here. Who else you got?
Wasn't there somebody named like Cody or something?
Yeah,
okay.
Cody Rhodes. Getting there. I mentioned one in What's Trending. That was Jey Uso.
Well, can I include just anybody that's part of this? The influencer, Paul.
Jake
Logan Paul or Jake Paul, one of them.
You always got to know which Paul.
iSpeed.
iShowSpeed?
Sure.
You're pretty close.
Yeah, that guy.
Some of the other guys on the list here: Gunther, Roman Reigns. You've heard the name Roman Reigns, I assume.
I have.
Yes.
Dominique Mysterio sounded me.
Is that the same as the Mysterio twins from back in the 90s?
Mysterio
Yeah, related.
They're related to
That's
the
his
Mysterio
son.
twins.
Oh, wow.
Dominic Mysterio, I think that's his son. By the way, I could be way wrong on that. I think that's what they told me when
what
I
was his
watched
name? Rashiki? Is he still a thing? What was his name? You know what I'm talking about. The guy that would stick his ass in people's face.
Whoa.
What? No, that was a thing. That's what he did. Look it up.
This is why I don't watch the right.
That's what I look up.
This is
wrestler who sticks ass in face. That'll be fine on the old company Wi-Fi. That won't show up anything weird at all.
It was a thing.
I'm gonna need a name.
Wrestling people out there, back me up. I'm not even. I don't know anything about wrestling, but I know a few of these names. That's it.
I view it very similarly. I told you guys before the show. I
don't.
Very similarly
honestly,
to like
I don't
go
get
to
it.
Savannah Bananas game. It's like it is entertainment for the sake of entertainment.
Yeah.
They put on a show. So I imagine going to a WrestleMania, even though I've never been to one, is fun because they just like put on a show. You know.
Before we get to the Royals, so Jordan Schultz had put out some of the teams that are going to Jordan Tyson's pro day. The Chiefs are not mentioned.
He
but
did say and more.
He
Are
said,
they in the
said
and
among
more
other,
category?
Yeah. So he said there's over 20. He listed 14 of them, among others. None of them are the Chiefs. You would assume, though, if the Chiefs were there, an NFL insider would put the Chiefs in there, right? I would assume that they're there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm laughing at the text line. Yeah, I would think so too, Drew. If you got a top 10 pick, wide receiver is a potential need. I'd be surprised if they didn't have.
I'm surprised that
somebody
he didn't mention the Chiefs. I mean, he's listing teams like the Dolphins are there. Nobody cares about that. Sorry to Miami.
People on the text line backing me up. I didn't make that up.
No, they gave the actual wrestling.
They said Rashiki.
Yeah, we need to. This is why I don't watch it. That is why I don't
Rikishi?
watch wrestling.
I don't know.
But you know what it is? I don't feel any need to like dismiss other people's. The same is true. I've never watched a NASCAR race
100%
since I was. I don't know. I had like my friend's stepdad was into it, so I've watched like a race maybe when I was like 16, and I haven't watched a single one since, and I probably never will. but I also don't care that you like it.
It's not for everybody. Yes.
You know?
Just the same as the wrestling stuff is.
Like,
No shade to anybody who enjoys that stuff.
When I go and hang out with him and we do some random pool and I'm just assigned some random wrestler and we're just like drinking beers and hanging out, fine. You can explain to me like the alliances between like the Polynesian wrestlers and the ones that are, fine, great.
That's what
Just
makes
give
it fun, though. If you're at a place and you get assigned somebody, all of a sudden it's a lot more fun because you're
it's
invested.
betting. It's just like anything else.
It's like fantasy football. You're all of a sudden more invested in the players that are on your roster, even if you don't care about the teams.
So, WrestleMania this weekend.
Carrington's there, right?
He is.
I think that's
again.
I think he's going out to Vegas for that. I think he's going with a family member. Out there.
He went out there last year.
Has
for
Carrington
WrestleMania.
broken down any WrestleMania on his show? Because it feels like
I don't
if
know.
there's
He's
anybody...
going back-to-back years to WrestleMania. I mean,
he's
that's
been to
like,
more WrestleMania matches than Missouri Tigers football games the last year.
I will clip that and save that for Rob. So when he comes back, that can
It's
get
not
brought up.
inaccurate. He's been to WrestleMania.
would you rather? Let me ask you this: would you rather, if I gave you the same all-access pass, would you rather go to a NASCAR race like Drew is this weekend or WrestleMania?
WrestleMania by a mile. I got no interest in.
Same, I think, but not by a mile. Not by a mile,
I've
though.
at least seen some of.
That's a gut punch.
I can name. Remember we just did the wrestlers? I would have done a better job naming wrestlers than I would current NASCAR.
No, you
Current
know more
NASCAR
drivers. Cody, you can list more drivers than you think.
Guess
The
right
only
now.
the ones who get in trouble for like saying racist stuff on a live stream. That's all I got.
Well,
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson.
He is
Bubba,
one of them?
Bubba Wallace.
Yes.
You
You said one
You're
yesterday.
already out.
hold on.
You brought one up when you talked about the favorites.
Oh, Danny Hamlin.
Yes.
Hold on. Chastain, is he still a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Cody, you said you got an email about two guys.
I don't remember
Who
either
were-
of their names.
Okay.
And I'd never heard of them up until I read you that email.
Is the guy that had, his name starts with an A,
Almirola?
That, yep.
He is not in.
Oh, he's
not
done?
I think he's done. He's not in Cup Series anymore. He might be doing part-time stuff with other series.
Okay.
He's bad.
Lower series.
You were way down the list. He's in the minors now.
Wow.
Got sent down.
I didn't know that.
Gold was going into the grassroots of now. He was going into lower levels.
was in
Cody, that's how much Gold knows about
talking
NASCAR.
sprint car.
That's how much Gold knows about NASCAR. He's name dropping Eric Almirola.
He's in deep.
Man.
Deep. Oh, no, that's fine. Again, if you like NASCAR, it's fine. I got nothing against you.
As a matter of fact, you might be able to meet MJ if you had a pass to go to a NASCAR race now.
That'd be
Because
pretty
MJ
cool.
goes to the races.
That'd be pretty
You
cool.
might be able to meet MJ.
Do you think he'll be here?
Drew.
I wouldn't be surprised
MJ
if he. I'd be more surprised if he was not than if he was. Actually.
MJ is not going to give me the time of day. I'm not meeting MJ, even if I had the all access pass. Maybe a head nod, best I could get.
I'll be
casual.
honest. I'll be
what's
honest.
up?
As cool as the wrestling might be, to say you got a head nod from Michael Jordan, that might be worth the entire thing. Forget the race.
Who's the most famous person you think will be at WrestleMania? And then we'll talk about the Royals.
Oh,
it's kind of my
There's probably a lot of famous people. I bet.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot.
I mean, honestly, you could name. I'm sure it's going to be a ridiculous amount of celebrities. It's also in Vegas.
I could get a head nod from Look, it's a Tom Brady, Bad Bunny. I mean, I do pretty good there too. I would guess.
Okay.
Who's more likely to give you a head nod, Tom Brady or MJ? I've gotten the head nod for Brady waiting for the locker room at Arrowhead
Brady, right?
from this past year.
It's got to be Brady.
We were waiting to get in the Chiefs locker room. He was on the broadcast. He walked by and said, "How you guys doing?" And we're
I'm
like
more
that.
likely to get a casual head nod from Brady. Yeah, you're right.
I think Brady's the guy. Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk some Royals baseball.
Yes.
And I'll just. There is a temptation to just say, I can't today. Because it is impossible to not be negative about what just took place without being honest that I don't think the season's over and I don't want to pretend like the season's over, but I also don't want to sugarcoat what happened yesterday, which was the swiftest kick to the nuts imaginable when you finally felt like you lost 2-1, the offense shows up, Salvi gives you the home run, you're good, and then just to give up 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs to get swept by the Tigers, that sucked. Nothing else. That sucked.
No, it
awful loss.
It was a pitiful loss. Again, they found a new way to lose, and you can say that the right now part of it needs to be included, but they're a bad baseball team, and maybe it is right now. And I hope it's just right now, but there's no other way to put it. They do so many things that bad baseball teams do. For a while, it was the offense. Yesterday, finally, the offense broke out. Maybe that's a sign that they will this weekend in New York. I don't know if I have all that much confidence that they will, but that was the one positive out of yesterday. But this bullpen is not just a one-day bad day at the office. This bullpen is bad. They have a bottom 3 bullpen in baseball, and they have a bottom 3 offense in baseball. Both of those things are facts right now. That means you're a bad baseball team right now. That's what they are. The bullpen seems less fixable currently with the bodies that they have than the offense. The offense, to me, they do have some of the pieces, Salvi and Vinny, and Bobby and Michael.
It was nice to see them all go in the game together. Yeah.
But the bullpen, I don't think Urseg's going to pitch like that every night now. Of course not. But who else do you trust? I mean, we were looking at the high leverage spots for so far this year. Some of this is clearly also on sense. Daniel Lynch has been maybe their best reliever, and he's below league average in high leverage spots. Lucas Urseg was below high leverage spots entering yesterday, and I understand how it went. Why is Mears getting more of those opportunities?
Yeah,
I don't think they have the guys in the bullpen, and they got guys in AAA that are hurt. There's not a whole lot of reinforcement to help the pen right now.
No.
They're just a bad baseball team. Their base running a couple nights ago was terrible. Yesterday, in the 9th inning, even with Urseg not pitching well, Cody, you have an opportunity to have a defensive alignment at least to prevent a double, or at least try to prevent a double. They didn't have that. They're just making too many mistakes to be a good baseball team.
Yeah, it's base running. It's, like you said, it's poor plate discipline. And in this case, Lucas Urseg left a pitch middle in a game in which it was 9-7 when he had a weird, traditionally, in that situation, you would guard the line to prevent the guy from getting a double. Even if you can't get to first, even if you let a single through, maybe only 1 run scores, you got to figure out to wait. So either Vinny didn't think about it, or they didn't choose a defensive alignment for that situation, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but they make a lot of little mistakes. They do. Plenty of them. And because of that, this is a team that's playing bad baseball. And they played bad baseball to start last year and eventually regulated, and crazy enough, started 8-14. I had forgotten this. I looked this up because somebody pointed it out. Last year, they started 8-14. So worse than they are currently, but equally as bad. And then went on to win 9 of 10 and 17 of 19. But right now, and I'm sure I felt this way last year.
But because of that, they also missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's why fans are frustrated. Not only is there a little bit of lack of belief that they can fix this, that remains to be seen. Can they fix this? Maybe they can, maybe they can't. I'm not ready like you to just completely say the season's over. That's silly. However, there is still a major impact, though, on what the bar is for this team in 2026, which is compete for the AL Central, win a division title, obviously be a playoff team. And they are far from that right now. And later on in the year, even if they get things corrected, what you're doing in April absolutely is going to potentially be a huge problem for them later on in the year when the math has to math for them to get into the postseason.
It's really tough because I couldn't tell you a pinpoint right now what the bigger part of the problem is right now. The bullpen, or what's cost them more games this year? The bullpen or the offense?
The offense.
They lost 5 one-run games.
I think the offense.
Close late certainly could have made a difference in the bullpen department.
Yeah, I think the offense is the answer to this point, but I have less faith that the bullpen is suddenly going to be good. I still have more faith that the offense, the key pieces, again, Vinny and Salvi will figure it out than I do that suddenly Nick Mears and everybody else on the bullpen is going to be effective. Carlos Estevez has not even started his rehab assignment in Omaha yet.
And look, I saw people be like, well, they didn't address the outfield this year. It's like, but, the outfield's not been the reason they've been losing. Jack Caglione's been an above-average player. Kyle Isbell's
but Lane Thomas has been bad.
Yeah, Isaac Collins has played in 16 games. He's been okay. Kyle Isbell's been really good. Jack Caglione's been good. Lane Thomas has been bad. No doubt about it. He's getting on base, and that's about the only thing I can say nice about so far his season. But it hasn't been a disaster. It's not last year's outfield either. Let's not pretend like it's been that level of bad either. Their issue was the 3 guys in the middle of the order weren't hitting for a while. Yesterday, and that's what sucks about losses like that. The thing that felt like it had been costing you, like that the offense not coming through, finally comes through. That homer from Salvi felt like a weight off of my shoulders. Like, okay, you can still do it. We're texting a little bit like, okay, if they can just hold on to this, that's the kind of win that we would have come into today's show. And what we would have said instead is, can you take that win and how good that win felt and just drag that momentum and start winning in New York, take 2 or 3 or come back home and win some more? Can you just let that momentum carry you? And now I got a question. Can it have the opposite effect? Please don't let this bury you. Because I could see why a loss like that would ruin your mood, kill your spirit, make it hard to want to go to the ballpark today and feel confident you're getting a win at the ballpark today. I could see the psychological bust that would feel like. So can you make sure that it doesn't do that?
I hope that this is not the case, but right now as it sits on April 17th, it seems we are trending towards looking at the front office quite a bit in their moves from the offseason and their biggest decision, if we're thinking about the offense, and that is Alex Zumwalt. If they went into last offseason and chose, and they did, to retain him and the offense as a whole, because yesterday is just one day. Like, I'm with you that I think maybe that was a great sign for the offense, but let's see. They could go out there tonight and score 1 run, and Saturday 1 run, and we're right back in the same spot with this offense. If we are still talking most of this summer or the next month or two about the offensive struggles, J.J. Piccolo's decision to retain Alex Zumwalt will become one of the biggest issues in his entire time as the general manager. I hope that's not the case. We are trending in that direction, though, and that's a bad thing for this regime moving forward and for the chance of this all working out, this current plan working out that they have with this core group of guys, and most importantly, with Bobby Wood Jr. in the 3-4 plus years that we have probably left with him on the team.
I look back and I'm just like, because overall I think JJ's done a good job. And not just because people are like, because he comes on your show. They were a really bad organization for 5 to 7 years. JJ Piccolo became the general manager instead of Dayton Moore. And since then, they field a competitive team. So, I
understand that.
But
there
are problems. I'm not trying to dismiss
the expectation heading in, though, was to be a division contender. And if it's one thing to not make the moves that the fan base necessarily wants. This doesn't mean that you should always do what the fan base wants. But if you are going to double down on your hitting coach, who was part of the problem last year, then if it also has the same result again, then that is on you.
Yes.
Hopefully, again, we're still only 3.5 weeks or whatever in the season, but it's trending. It's trending in that direction. And it will be a very fair criticism. And how long will they be loyal to certain guys? We all know, going back to Dayton Moore, they were extremely loyal to who? Cal Eldred, until it was way too late.
And I hated that. Yeah. And look, the truth is, if they continue on this path by the end of April, they will do something. If they get swept by the Yankees this weekend, they might do something on Monday. Because the part of what you're talking about, I don't think they're
firing anybody, if that's what you mean.
The going into the season, and I think it's important to note, this is the difference between expectation. This is not some up-and-coming team still trying to figure out how they are. Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, Michael Garcia, Bobby Wood Jr., these are established veterans. The starting pitching staff, these are established veterans. There's no, guess who in this group. Even the bullpen is full of established guys. So, it's not supposed to be a slow starter because it's the only two players you could say, hey, let's just give them time to grow are Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione on the entire roster. Even out of all the bullpen guys, out of the guys currently in there, it's full of vets. It's all guys who've been around the league forever. Every single starter on the team's been around the league forever. It's literally two guys, Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione, that I will give a little grace to for, hey, let's let them figure themselves out a little bit here in the early going. Drew had asked a question earlier. We were talking about Cags, and he said if Caglione had 5 home runs, but the average was below. You do realize that's exactly Carter Jensen. You're asking me, who started the season do I feel better about? Carter Jensen's hitting .222 with a .259 on base and 4 home runs and 10 RBI. And Jack Caglione's hitting .273 with a .355 on base, but no home runs and only 1 RBI. It's just, do you value getting on base or do you value runs? And in the end, runs, right, do matter. But it's just those are two guys I'll give a lot of grace to, but everyone else should be good.
And Carter Jensen's the answer because we're still early enough in the year where Cody the batting average can change so quickly. Just 3 days ago, having the Jack Caglione question, he was hitting .229. Just 3 days ago.
Yep.
So that's why the answer would be Carter Jensen because the power's been there. And the average is a little bit lower, but the power's been there. Cags' average has gone up, which is great. It's all good, but he goes 0 for 4 today. It's back down to 240 something or 250. I don't know the exact math, but it's
I'd have to look it up.
You know what I mean? But we're still early enough, as you know, 2 days at the office.
He's got 55 at bats and he's got 15 hits. So if he went 0 for 4 today.
We're at the point, though, where 2-0 for 5 days or 2-4 for 4 days, and suddenly he can be a 300 hitter if he goes 4 for 4 tonight or
He'd
tomorrow.
Be hitting 254 if he went 0 for 4 today.
So that's quick. Two days at the office of 1 for 7 or 1 for 8.
Well, some of it's and some of it, in fairness, he'd be hitting. Is that right? 322 if he went 4 for 4. Big swing.
That's all I'm saying about when you bring up the average. In which one would I rather have? I'd take the player that has a little bit lower average right now, but the power because the average can adjust so quick.
Well, it means they're driving the ball. And that's still the advantage.
Cags was drafted to hit home runs.
But I do like that Cags is walking, and Cags is now starting to maybe drive the ball a little bit better. But More than fair. He's got also 4 times as many doubles as Carter, like power numbers, extra base hits are extra base hits. And so I like to keep a close eye on those things. But man, that one yesterday, you and I were texting pretty much right after that. And then I just ignored social media the rest of the day. I couldn't look. I just said that was a devastating loss. And then I just turned it off. And I'm like, I'm out. It just felt like one of those, I can't think about this loss much longer games.
Coming up next, I want to talk about some breaking news in the NFL. A defensive lineman just got a massive extension, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. We'll tell you who that is. We'll also talk about some of the news around the World Cup and how people are getting to Arrowhead.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading land, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your local Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley Equipment has the machines you need to get the job done. And right now, Foley Equipment has 0% financing with approved credit on new cat skid steers, mini excavators, and compact track loaders. Stop in today to any Foley Equipment location or visit us at FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase, 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
With 2 kids and 4 sports, sometimes we don't even have time to eat, and that means sometimes we can't get to the store. That's when Hy-Vee saves the day. We love ordering our groceries online and having them delivered. It saves us so much time, and it's easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All I have to do is pick up my order or have it delivered to my home, which is free, by the way, with my Perks Plus membership. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Royals coverage is brought to you by the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill. Game day starts here.
KC baseball fans, this is your headquarters. Every game, any screen, catch it all at the Brooksider. Cold drinks, great food, and the energy you want on game day. Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill. Game day starts here.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, gosh. What are we doing?
You said we're going to talk about the World Cup.
We are.
Is this the World Cup song?
No, this is We Are the World.
We are going to talk World Cup in a second. We were actually talking during the break with Rob, who's going to join us during Fan Club Friday today in about an hour. Thanks to Jay Rieger. We're just talking about like the weather, and obviously severe weather expected to happen this afternoon. And by now, I'm sure people are aware of it. And it sounds like it's be very, very bad situation perhaps for the metro area. And we were saying with Rob, like he's going to be producing the drive this afternoon, and he's like, he was trying to figure out where he's going to put his car with the potential for hail. Softball or potato-sized hail, as one meteorologist called it yesterday. So I don't know.
What's your plan? So, like, you got a car. Let's talk about it for a minute. You got a car that you would like it to keep in good shape. Makes sense. What are you just going to leave it at your house? Drew, what are you going to do? You're going to go somewhere to go park under?
You could always, if you don't have a big enough garage or room in your garage, you could always do now you got to sit there, drive to the gas station, sit under the awning, if you will, at the gas station, or if the banks were closed, you go under the bank drive-through. Like I've had a car before where I've driven and I was like, oh, it's about to hail, and so I would purposely go to a gas station and just park under a gas station for a while. That's for people. If someone doesn't have garage access, or is there a parking garage near you? Like, is there a shopping center that has a parking garage or something like that you can?
Like Drew, he's got the Legends. There's a couple of big parking garages over there. I think you just got to go over there, man.
Well, I reached out
walk over to your wife's work and hang out at the bar.
I reached out to my complex because they have like the little carport things. Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, can I do this for a day? Can I like pay for a day of this? Or if I have to do a month, I'll do a month. They said they get back to me within 24 hours. So that's not
24 hours. 24 hours, too late. I need to do it within 24 minutes.
So I think what I'm going to do is
just park it there, Drew.
I'm gonna
what are they gonna do? Tow it?
Well, it depends on if I'm in somebody else's spot, though. That's the problem. Is if they are coming home.
Yeah, you would be screwing someone pretty bad in that spot.
Yeah, that would be bad.
You could just sit in the car, and if you're in someone's spot, you could just move it to the next one.
Someone says, what about the wind, even if you're under a gas station when the wind blows? Yeah, but it's going to be better than just fully exposed, though. It's still a better path than than if you have nothing.
It's that, Cody, or we get done with the show and I haul it to Legends and I park my car in the parking garage and I walk home.
You should do that. You should do that. You
And-
have time.
and
I don't
walk
think
home.
it's supposed to get to the metro
Or
till 3, right?
Or go sit at the bar where your wife works, right? Like just hang out, get some chicken tenders or whatever,
Yeah, I will. I think I'm gonna haul it to. I'm gonna have to give her.
You got time. You got time.
Because you might want to give her a ride to work.
Well,
So she can park her
that's
car
the
into the
thing.
garage
Yeah, 'cause
too. You
she's
guys might
supposed
want to go
work-
to the
yeah.
garage together.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I need to text her to see, but that might be the move. At least is to park the car in the parking garage and either just sit there while the storm goes through, or if I have enough time.
Again, Luke Doris over at Channel
home.
5 yesterday.
I'm going to put my basketball hoop inside my screen porch.
He sent out a tweet yesterday. I guess I can read his updated one in a second. But yesterday, and it was like Friday, severe threat. KC right in the middle, level 3 to 5 risk zone. Although I think some other meteorologists have upgraded it to a 4 now.
I don't know what that
Timing,
means, but
KC
okay.
3 to 7. Highest risk may be as schools are let out. Tornadoes and potato-sized hail. So that prompted everybody to respond in similar fashion, which is like, what do you mean potatoes?
What kind of potato?
Exactly. Is it russet potatoes or Yukon Golds? What are we?
Sweet potato?
There's a big difference in potato size. He then today I think sent out a tweet and said basically it's softball size.
Somebody says the Tonganoxie split's going to happen because there's like
That is a
tornado
thing.
threats.
That's a real thing.
There's hail threats. Like I don't know. Like sometimes we get like in Kansas City, it does seem about like only about 20% of the time when they're like it's going to be bad. 20% of the time is it actually bad. I understand we got to warn it. What were you saying, Drew? Holy cow! About what?
Softball size hail.
Yeah, man.
Let's.
That's why I said you got to go put your car in a garage.
Here's what he
man.
said. Potato hail explained. Again, this is Luke Doris over at Channel 5.
Okay.
He says today's atmosphere is capable of producing 4 diameter hail in narrow swaths. Descriptor for this is usually softball. Softballs are uniform in size and shape. Hail is not. Potatoes are not. Potatoes are smaller than softballs, so it's less hypey. It gets the people talking. Awareness raised. Check. Potatoes are a superior descriptor. Get on the ice potato bandwagon.
He said potatoes are a better descriptor.
Someone said.
I mean, normally you hear about like
All right.
penny size hail or nickel size hail, tennis ball, even softball. That's like
Someone
where
says
if you're out walking, it hits you in the head, it could kill you, right?
I mean, imagine if I went
yeah,
outside and
probably.
knocked me unconscious.
Yeah.
I'm not, the worst hailstorm I ever saw was when we were in Colorado, and it was like that. It was just like softballs raining from the sky for about
Someone
5
says we need
minutes.
to call up a meteorologist. I mean, they're probably kind of busy today, but I can give Drew a number of somebody if
Sure.
you want to try to get somebody on in the 1 o'clock hour.
From the 913, a real man would take his car to the garage for the hail. You can go on ahead and do that and have your car get dented, window smash, whatever.
Somebody says,
Go ahead.
meteorologist here
I will
said
not do
today
that.
is the most serious severe threat Kansas City's seen in more than 7 years.
Oh, jeez.
Tornado threat is real and significant. Please tell people to take this seriously despite the silly messaging, particularly just south of the metro. And said,
great.
be sure to be careful of it.
Okay.
A lot
Well,
of
be
times,
safe out there
A
today.
lot of times too, like I don't know if it's this way in Kansas City or if it's that the whole split thing, but the west side of the city always gets hit hard, and then the east side might have that split where the city itself it pulls the storm apart in a way where you might miss it if you're on a certain side. Or I'm gonna get smacked by the storm.
Yeah, I mean, most of the metro is, but
Where I'm
also
at.
there's some areas earlier in the week. Remember, we had the severe weather. I mean, unfortunately, Ottawa got hit with that tornado yesterday. Wasn't it yesterday or 2 days ago? Clinton, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
those are further out of the metro. It's not really in the metro.
Do you
but-
guys think I need to put the basketball goal I just got for my kid inside the screen porch?
I think you should at least lay it down.
Yeah, you got to at least lower it big time.
I lowered it as
lower
low
and lay it down.
I already lowered it as low as it go before I went to work today. But I could lay it down's enough, or is the just gonna break it with the hail? Shouldn't I just stick it inside the screen? It'll fit inside the screen.
Cody
porch.
earlier today was telling everybody in the building, is anybody that would listen, he hopes his roof gets
Yeah, it's true.
destroyed.
I want Century Roofing to come get me a new roof.
He said he hopes his roof gets destroyed.
Well, I don't want like real damage to happen to other people's stuff. I just, it's about that time for the old roof replacement. Could be good timing for me. By the way,
It feels like this.
talk to 1,000 homeowners. Spec said the same thing pretty much. If you're a homeowner and it's about that time for a roof,
Should we see if our guy Cloudy with a chance can?
I don't think we can do joking weather when it might be this serious. Is the
yeah,
problem.
actually, you know what? Yeah, I think that's fair.
I like it
I
better
am,
when we're just doing jokey stuff. This weather
Sure.
sounds like it's going to be serious.
Drew, I just sent you the phone number of, I don't want to mention the person's name because it's not fair to them. They don't know we're trying to get them on yet, and they might be super busy, but a local meteorologist, we'll see if we can't coordinate last minute to have that individual maybe call in the 1 o'clock hour if you want to try. That would be helpful. I think people would actually want to hear that today, given the circumstances. So, all right. right, we'll get to the random question of the day in a couple minutes. But yesterday we found out, or 2 days ago, we were supposed to talk about yesterday. We just had a 1 hour show. But the KC 2026 World Cup group announced prices and everything for the World Cup. You're used to for the Truman Sports Complex, how you're used to for a Royals or Chiefs game. There's only going to be like 4,000 parking spots, and they're selling them for like $125. Remember, there's no tailgating.
So most people aren't going to take advantage.
So you're going to have to, if you have tickets for these matches, you're going to have to take a bus in, or I guess you could do Uber or whatever, but your bus is easier. There's a whole map that the group put out the other day. I mean, depending on where you're in town, there's plenty of options for you to hop on a bus and get a round-trip ride. Unlimited regional trips from downtown KC to 14 different locations will cost $5 a day.
Okay.
$25 for a week, or $50 for the entire World Cup tournament. Round trip match day service to the stadium is $15. But if you need a ride from out of town, downtown to KCI are free.
That doesn't. Okay, so first of all, that's great. Being able to get to the airport to and from, and the shuttle's free. $15 for game day doesn't seem that bad to me, man. That is way less than an Uber would cost me if I was just going to a Royals game. And I wanted to have a couple of drinks and didn't want to drive home, it would cost me significantly more than
Compared to other cities' plans, I mean, we
sounds
talked about
pretty
it.
good.
You look at Kansas City compared to some of the other World Cup cities for their transportation plan. This is pretty reasonable. We all know, like in general, Kansas City's public transportation lacks compared to some of these other major cities that are part of it. But in terms of the plan they put together and the cost of it, this seems really effective. So just some of the spots, I'm not going to list all 14, but
I was more disappointed in the artist they announced for the FIFA Festival than I was what you just said there.
We'll get to the Fan Fest stuff. But you can, even if you're someone in Lawrence, Cody, you can take a bus for the entire tournament for $50 to Lawrence and back. For the entire tournament. There's a bus. Lenexa City Center, there'll be a bus.
That's
Mission,
tough to beat.
just down the road from us here at Mission. Oak Park Mall, Overland Park Convention Center, the Legends, the KC Zoo, North Kansas City, Boardwalk Square up north, Liberty, Worlds of Fun, Independence, etc. Like there are plenty of places, depending on where you are in the metro area, to hop on a bus if you've got tickets to these matches.
Like I thought when we got that news, I was like, fine, that sounds good. Drew was mentioning, train tickets that normally cost $12, costing $100.
Yeah, to go from Penn Station to MetLife.
The idea that I could get back and forth for $5 a day or $50 for the whole month, or game day match stuff. Look, if you're going to a match, I'll just tell you right now, minimum you're spending right now to get into the lowest price World Cup match currently slated in Kansas City is $400.
Yeah.
So the $15 to get yourself down there, that doesn't seem that bad to me.
Now, to what you were talking about with the $100 World Cup train tickets for New Jersey, the New Jersey governor, have you been following that? She's been going after
FIFA should pay for it.
She's been going out after FIFA the last week or so because of this. And basically, is upset with the whole deal, and she, what the pricing structure is going to be, and basically,
do we know if it's like obviously maybe we're paying more attention to it because it's here, but compared to other countries when they host the World Cup, like what are I wonder if it's their expectations or their asking prices egregiously higher because it is
the ticket prices for this World Cup are higher than it's ever been.
Okay.
That's the U.S. part.
Sure. There's also more countries in it, so there's more people
countries,
who would
more people wanting to go. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just price of tickets go up slowly over time. Or maybe they'll go down now that Ticketmaster just lost a monopoly lawsuit, saying that they've been holding us hostage this entire time. So maybe
They basically found that Live Nation and Ticketmaster acted as a monopoly and overcharged ticket buyers.
You think?
I think that's where I got my tickets for the World Cup.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course they've been operating as a monopoly. We've just all been ignoring it for all this time. I will say, other than, and I want to put him to the side for a minute, Fan Fest lineup. Tech 9, all for it. Kansas City artist, makes
over songs.
Doesn't mean it has to be for me, but that's the best we can do. That's it.
What did you expect for a month-long festival in Kansas City?
It's only going to be here every 40 years in the country. This will be the only time the World Cup's in Kansas City in my entire life. And the best we can run out is the chain smokers. Couldn't get like Jack White? Couldn't up it a little? Did you say who to Jack White?
We were just on SNL.
Was he?
Jack White and Jack Black. Did you see what they did?
That's offensive.
Did you see
I know who Jack Black is.
SNL within the last month, they had fun with it. They had Jack White and Jack Black on the same night.
That is funny. Drew, you don't know who Jack White is?
Let me look up. Let me look him up. I'm sure I've heard some of his songs before.
You definitely have, Drew. He has one of the most
Seven Nation Army.
Seven Nation Army.
I know Seven Nation Army. I don't know. I didn't know
that's it.
Jack.
That's the White Stripes. That's Jack White.
I didn't know that was Jack White.
Who's Jack
Steady
White?
As She Goes.
Drew, of all the
I thought
things
you
we
were
made
gonna-
fun of you for not knowing in the show, that is single-handedly the most offensive.
I thought you were going to say something like
more than anyone you've ever
I
said
thought you were
on
going
the
to say
show,
you
to
wanted something to something like the Bee Gees or something like that, or you know, you wanted to go back in time a little
Someone
bit.
says Gabby Barrett someone's texting. Gabby Barrett got me through my last breakup from my cheating ex. That's a text we just got in.
That's great
about
what
her.
country music's for, right? And then isn't that what it's for? Look, all the other ones are just like kind of like local artists or ones you've heard of, and that's fine. You know, they're doing a lot of free concerts and all that stuff's cool. I just felt like
Cody wanted.
it's kind of a bummer.
Cody wanted
Chain smokers and, you know, Flo Rida. Just felt like we could do better than that. Those are the people who play like we got a concert tonight after the game at whatever, at the T-Bones. We got Flo Rida coming. You're like, oh.
They're not going to pay the same
You know?
price as a Super Bowl halftime show. They're not going to have Bad Bunny. They're not going to have, Bruce Springsteen at this
Doesn't
thing.
have to be that.
Like, come on.
I'm just saying, can we up it a little?
Dusty would be going for Bruce
Oh.
Springsteen compared to the actual soccer.
Totally.
It was Bruce Springsteen.
I actually don't think the lineup's that bad, Cody.
You think
you
it's
can
okay?
reserve tickets for FanFest now, I
Who do
believe.
you think's playing at the Los Angeles fan?
That's what you should check. Do you have it
Yeah,
announced?
you know what? That actually might be.
But it's LA. I understand that their lineup's going to look a little bit better.
I mean, you would think so. Let's see, Boston. Let's check.
Someone says
Dallas
Nelly,
is.
close to St. Louis. Give us Nelly.
At least there's like a local flavor to it.
It will be in Missouri.
That's true. That's true.
If you wanted to, yeah.
I'm trying to look.
Someone said the only answer is Pitbull and T-Pain. T-Pain performed a couple years ago, I think, at the Monarch Stadium.
Is that right?
For I forget what.
Exactly my point, Drew.
I forget what the.
That was the tacos and tequila
Yeah,
thing.
yes.
That was a paid concert though, or festival.
That thing was.
This is free unless you buy the
So I can't
the
complain 'cause
special
it's
beer.
free?
I'm not
Yes.
saying nobody
I mean,
would-
I say
Yes.
free, air quotes. There's taxpayer money being used for this whole thing, but you know
So
what
I'm
I
paying
mean.
for it in some way. But
Cody,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying that people wouldn't get up for Jack White, but I'm saying Legends.
They get it for more than chain smokers.
Legends was packed for T-Pain.
Did you go?
I did not,
Oh.
but you could. I essentially almost got a free concert. I could sit outside on the patio,
I mean, this
on
summer,
the porch, and hear
Legends
the,
was lit up for
music.
T-Pain?
Yeah,
All right. I do like
Cody,
T-Pain.
for example.
It wasn't a knock on him. I
yeah.
just,
Like Post Malone's coming to Kansas City this summer. He's doing the, I think, quote, this is what they call the big ass super stadium tour or whatever.
Post Malone would have been a good.
Post Malone, that feels like a good. That feels
Yes, it'd be a good
right.
get.
Right, but that's a paid concert where tickets are $100+ a piece,
If you-
$200 a piece.
And of all the sites, he'd do it in Dallas. He would do it in Dallas.
But that feels like the level of
Or
artist
LA.
I was looking for. I'll say.
You wanted a Post Malone.
I wanted
level
like
artist. Okay.
that. I
Well, then be
wanted
prepared to pay.
I wanted to be up in that echelon, for it. That's all.
Would you donate the money that you won from your Vinny home run?
I did bet Vinny to hit a home run
try and
yesterday.
get closer to getting one of those.
It wasn't
artists?
as sweet after they lost the game, but the money helps.
You did have that, though. That's good. We mentioned we were going to talk about, I apologize, Will Anderson, who just got an extension. That happened right before we went to break. The Texans and All-Pro edge rusher Will Anderson Jr. have agreed on a blockbuster 3-year, $150 million extension, $134 million guaranteed
Solid deal.
to make him the NFL's highest-paid non-quarterback ever. So
Well,
big news
$50
for the
million a
Texans.
year, I would think so.
Here's where
That's
we're at now.
quarterback money.
Non-quarterback. So Anderson, $50 million. Micah Parsons makes $46.5 million on average. Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions, $45. JSN just got that $42.1. And then TJ Watt still up there at $41 million. That is highest paid non-quarterbacks per annual salary. Look, this was a no-brainer. Will Anderson, top draft pick, has been an unbelievable player for the Texans. That defense, he's the big leader on that. The question about the Texans is their quarterback. I think we all know that. It's not about Will Anderson. It's
Can they get CJ Stroud back to, funny enough, this is almost something you never say, but some rookie year CJ Stroud? Somehow, Gold, he was at his best when he was free and in the league and nobody had any real expectations for him yet. But then when the pressure cooker turned up for him, he got worse.
Mm-hmm.
And he's played worse since then. And it's not that they didn't try to put talent around him. Nico Collins was, now, admittedly briefly, but there was like 6 months straight where people thought Nico Collins was a top 10 receiver in the NFL, right? Maybe a year straight, a full season's worth, where Nico Collins was at least discussed as a possible top 10
That
wide
was
receiver in the
Stroud's
league.
rookie year, right? Then when that would have happened.
Yeah, but then the following year, even he was still like a 1,200-yard guy.
Yeah.
Like
He's probably the most underrated wide receiver. I don't know if
The
you'd go as far as to say that now, but he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league.
I will say, every time I see a new contract with the new collective bargaining and these deals going up, Patrick Mahomes is going to make $75 million whenever they rip up his deal, and should.
It's trending in that direction.
I mean, why wouldn't he make that? He makes $56 million a year. Will Anderson makes $50. I mean, like Daniel Jones makes 50.
I mean, the same thing applies.
So, it's not hard to do the math here.
If Drake May continues on this path, I understand he did not play well in the postseason, but
He'll get 60 plus.
Yeah, he's going to get a massive deal like that. That's just where we're trending with quarterbacks. The salary cap keeps going up, and the TV contracts, even though there's a lot of talk about that right now, keeps going up as well, and that's what's leading to this. But Will Anderson on a short-term deal, but man, $50 million a year, not too bad. Not
good for him.
No, it's a good contract. And this goes, and we talk about this all the time. George Karlaftis is nowhere close to the level of player that Will Anderson is. But based on what they make per year, you're getting
Is C.J. Stroud their starting quarterback by the end of his deal? By the end of Will Anderson's deal?
I think so.
I think so, but the fact that it's actually a legitimate question at this point is a problem for the Texans.
I think it's a problem, but I think it's hard to. They're going to get. I think they're going to get caught in that limbo of being like the Steelers, where I don't know if they'll be bad enough to get one of the top guys when they come out, and
that's a tough spot to be.
Is that enough for you to just stick with CJ?
I told you this is genuinely what I think. This is the. I mentioned this with Miami, and I very seriously mean it. I think Miami is intentionally making their roster so bad that they can't have happen what happened when they lost out on Joe Burrow. When they were
gonna
bad,
make sure they get Archer or whoever the number one quarterback is.
They're making damn sure they're going to be the worst this time. Because when you get stuck in limbo, it's a tough place to be. If we go through every single starting quarterback in the NFL this year, do you know what percentage of them were probably taken in the top 10 in the NFL draft? Man, it's a lot. I understand there are Lamar Jacksons of the world.
Yeah.
And there are people who are still taken in the first round, right?
Daniel Jones, top 10, top 5, I believe.
He was taken second overall. Matt Stafford was 1-1. Herbert was third overall. Josh Allen was
fourth, I think.
Fourth, whatever it was. The only starting quarterbacks in the NFL who weren't taken there are what? Dak? Is that the only? Darnold was taken 1-1,
Dak, Purdy.
Love?
Where
was he taken?
Late first round, wasn't he?
If you're going to take a quarterback, the odds of finding that guy in the late, and Purdy.
I mean, you could.
They pretty much have to be taken in the top 5.
From the 785, they got that long neck guy.
Oh, Davis Mills.
Davis Mills, yes.
By the way, Love was 26th overall in the 2020 draft.
But a huge chunk of these guys were taken in the top 10.
Yeah.
Huge chunk of these guys.
How many of the you obviously go back and you look at reaches too. If Ty Simpson's taken 6th by the Browns for whatever reason, then
happens, man.
He's considered in that category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll be shocked if Simpson goes above 12.
J.J. McCarthy was 9 or 11.
Even the guys who failed at their stops were all top 5 picks.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Even those guys were taken.
McCarthy was 10th.
So JJ's in that bundle.
No later than top of the second.
That's crazy.
You got almost no hope of finding your starting quarterback if you go anywhere outside of the first 5 picks in the second round. That always goes back to are we sure Ty Smith is a first rounder? Hell yeah, I'm sure they're a first rounder because they know that if they take him in the 4th, the odds of that guy being any good is none. Essentially, it's
Unless
Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy.
Purdy's the only one, and Dak.
Those are the only 2 starters in the league right now taken in the 3rd or after.
There's an exception every 10 years, every 5 years.
Yeah,
to that,
yeah, for sure.
It's something like that. By the way, our draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army's Civic Lunch. We'll get to a random question today in the 1 o'clock hour.
We can do it during
Fan Club Fridays coming up. Thanks to Jay Rieger. Rob Britton's going to join us around 1:30. We'll talk more about the World Cup. We'll certainly get back into Missouri landing Bryson Tiller yesterday. A big time get in the portal, of course, the former Jayhawks. So that increases the rivalry there coming up at T-Mobile Center in December when those two teams will square off. Up next, though, I do want to talk a little bit more about what we're seeing happen when it comes to downtown baseball. We will also get into something that I can't believe we're allowing happen with one of the great things that we do in this country. I'll explain what that is next.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5.
99. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3583. 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. For always trusting Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Odyssey Sports Draft coverage is presented nationally by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ah. If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into the Fan Club.
Step 1, we buy into this club. Step 2, we roll over to the club, either in your Mercedes-Benz or my pre-owned Acura Legend.
It's not as much as a club as it is a couple middle-aged dudes in sweatshirts talking about sports.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Now all the ladies saying bounce, 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 bounce.
But you get the gist. Here's Cody Tapp and Alex Gold.
It is a Fan Club Friday here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon would be if you just sat on your porch,
cracked open a J. Rieger can cocktail,
an old-fashioned from Rieger, and just watched the storms come in. It'd be a very Midwest Kansas City thing.
I definitely am an outside porch
sit in the
storm
garage
watcher. Absolutely.
I'll be watching the storms a little bit. I'm not going to be sitting in the garage watching, but I'll be
You can get
on
smacked by some hail
the
or something
patio.
like
Well,
that,
that's
yeah?
the thing.
I
It
got
is
the
gonna
screen
be.
porch. I can sit there. Now, it is loud because it's like a metal roof. So if the hail comes, you're not going to probably.
Yeah.
That would be a bit jarring.
But again, the latest, the Metro has been upgraded to a level 4 severe risk for Friday afternoon, according to Fox 4. Wind-driven upgrade. This is from Jacob Lanier over at Fox 4. Significant wind risk is in place, damaging 85+ mile per hour gusts possible.
Holy cow!
So yeah, it's not gonna be great. Now it looks like it's gonna be fairly quick. Like I don't think this. They're
couple
saying,
hours, right?
Yeah, they're saying it's not gonna be like the rest of the day, but by 6:30 or 7 maybe it's out of the Metro. But we'll see. Be safe out there. Obviously, I even saw a few businesses. In fact, I saw the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. They're to protect their staff out of abundance of caution. They're closing early today, or they closed early. Because make sure people can get home.
Yeah. Some schools are definitely like sending their kids home early. My kids didn't happen to have school today, so I guess conveniently enough. Otherwise, they would be getting off the bus like literally in the thick of it, pretty much, right?
That would be terrible.
No, and that's why some school districts were just letting out early.
That makes sense.
I can't have my kid's bus driver having to drive through like softball size hail trying to get at that point, I'll just pick them up early, I don't want them trying to get off the bus being pelted. I don't have a shield to get them from the bus inside the house. A normal umbrella is not going to get that one done, Drew.
Softball size hail, you need like Captain America's shield or something like that.
You figured out your plan yet, Drew? What are you going to do with the car?
I think I've got an idea. Gonna try to just park it under one of the carports and just if I'm in somebody's spot, then I'll move a spot and I'll just deal with it.
You're just gonna like move spot to spot in hopes of and just stay in the car or just like watch your car from a distance.
Just see that's the thing because I don't want to.
You don't want to sit in your car.
You know what you should do? I'm serious. You live out by the Legends. You're not that far. Legitimately, why don't you just? Did you go park it at the garage at Hollywood Casino? Just park it in the garage.
I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Shout out Hollywood Casino. Why don't you just park it in their garage
and just go in the
for the hour and a half or 2 hours of the storm? That's close to you. Really close.
It is close.
Just a thought.
There's one of the three things. It's that garage. It's somebody said, I'm not going to do this, but somebody said just park by Dave & Buster's in the garage and go get drunk. Which
somebody
I will not
said
do.
they have a 3-car garage. One's free, and they said they could park. They said they live out in the Legends. Said you could just park in someone's garage.
Did they?
Yeah, someone on the text line earlier.
There will be
just straight up offered their garage at their house.
There will be a game plan. Someone said put a sign with a number on it. They're already assigned technically, but I don't know if
your phone number said, "Hey, I parked here because of the hail. If this is your spot, call me. I'll move immediately."
Yeah, but when it's the middle of a storm, people are gonna be pissed.
Reading a sign. Yeah.
They're not gonna go. Yeah,
they're gonna give you a number and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'll be calling you right now to kick your ass."
Well, if that's the case, yeah, I mentioned Hollywood Casino. Why don't you just park at the Dave & Buster's garage at the Legends? Just park your car there and walk home. Just park the car in the garage. Walk home for 3 hours and have your wife or somebody drop you back off.
Well, I brought that idea up to the wife. She didn't care for that idea too much. She was like, just park it at a carport and you don't have to walk home.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll try that. We're going to play it by ear. I was never expecting to have to do this.
Someone says, Drew, take your mattress, put it on top of your car, and just be good.
I could do that, I suppose.
All right.
Go find a mattress on the side of the road and just
put it on top.
Strap it up.
Never mind. I was going to say a joke.
No, please proceed. Please.
I was going to say that's some.
It's a fan club. Relax a little.
I was going to say that's some RFK Jr. type stuff based on what our trash of the day was.
Well, that was
putting
him.
a mattress on top of the car to avoid the hail. Some country stuff right there.
Yeah,
it's creative, but that's some.
Don't knock it if it gets the job done. I guess is all I'm saying.
Very true. Very true.
Let's briefly talk Royals downtown stadium. We certainly throughout the show today have talked about the frustration and where this baseball team is at. But yesterday there was the official passing of the ordinance that now moves it forward for a downtown stadium. Remember, yesterday, what that did was approve the city manager to continue now moving forward and negotiate with the Royals. So the next steps, and plural, there are multiple steps still to go, but it's all trending in a good direction if you're someone that's in favor, like we both are, all three of us are, I think, of downtown baseball. And that is find out what is the dollar amount the state's going to contribute. We all know the Show Me Sports Investment Act up to 50%. Will it be the full 50%? We'll see. Get that figured out, negotiate lease terms, et cetera, with the Royals. Eventually, it will have to go back to the city council to approve that full-blown agreement with the Royals. But it is all trending in the right direction if you're someone that wants downtown baseball. And I'm excited, man. Like, for 6+ years, we've been talking about this. And I know people are upset on some sides. Some people are excited on others about the Chiefs and what they're doing. Downtown baseball makes a lot of sense. It's what I've wanted for a while. And that is, and I get it. We're all sentimental with Kauffman Stadium, but we've known for years, guys, they were never staying at Kauffman. Like, I get it. Like, why don't they just stay there? That has been clear from the get-go. That was never an option. Downtown baseball, I think, sets up a strong future for baseball in Kansas City moving forward. And the timeline on it, I mean, the mayor was talking last week that first quarter of next year, they could start breaking ground, and opening day 2030, that's the plan right now. Yeah. That's really, it feels far away, but it really isn't.
No. And look, it was I told you, I just want to make sure that they can get through several steps without a hang up. And then I'll start believing and look, if you made me guess right now, obviously I think they'll build a stadium in Washington Square Park. But I've gotten my hopes up before on a downtown stadium getting done. Certainly you and I thought it'd be narrow, but we thought they would win the initial vote. Instead, they got their ass kicked the last time they did it. And these projects are very different. The Crossroads location, it moved more businesses. It moved more homes. It required different things in order to occur. This one, quite a bit different and in a different location and under different funding mechanisms. But they do have to remember why it is that vote failed and try to avoid some of those things so that these steps are clear. Right now, they've had to go through two steps. Committee and the council. Smooth. Two smooth steps. Now, they need the money from Missouri. I assume the Missouri step, which I think is the next one, will be a smooth one because why did Missouri create it when they already knew they were losing the Chiefs? They created it for teams like the Royals, for teams like the St. Louis Cardinals, to keep those teams in their areas, to keep those teams happy, to keep the professional teams they have in their sport happy. So I assume that the second they apply, they'll be rubber stamped through. It's just as long as the steps keep going smoothly, I won't have fear that this thing is going the other way. So far, they're 2 for 2 in the ease department. It went 11-1 yesterday with one person abstaining, I think. Or they just didn't. I don't know why they didn't vote. This works in politics. Sometimes people don't vote because they don't want to be on the record one way or the other. They're probably against it, but they don't want to look like they're against it. That kind of thing. It's
important to know yesterday was not approving the package. It was approving the right to negotiate.
The
so
package.
That could be the argument for somebody that if we go back and someone approved it, it's just authorizing the city manager to go negotiate.
Yeah, and so now they will. And I assume that once they get through the Missouri part and they got the full $1 billion or so, which I expect them to have, to offer it up, the Royals are going to tell you, hey, this is still one of the largest private investments in Kansas City's history, because they're going to give up $1 billion in order to, plus overruns, I'm sure, to help build this stadium down in that area, which is the same amount they were getting before. They didn't get a better or worse deal, fair enough. That is the one difference between the Chiefs. When the Jackson County vote failed, the Chiefs got 2 times the deal.
Well, it's the best
they were getting in Jackson County.
It's the best stadium deal for an owner in U.S. sports history.
Yes. So they got 3 times the deal they were getting in Jackson County. Royals are pretty much getting the same deal. So they didn't rake you over the coals for more, I would guess. Now, I still think some of that is because they were having a harder time getting to Kansas, and maybe North Kansas City was always in Clay County was always going to have a little bit of funding trouble for that area. But it's still about the same deal. Now it's just the Royals, and instead of a straight, property tax, which now, by the way, that 3/8 cents. After that all wraps up, not paying that anymore.
Okay, but that you and I...
It'll go to something else.
You and I both know how that works. I don't care what...
somebody else is going to pay.
Yeah, you and I, I don't care what city or county you're in. That 3/8, it's not like it's just gone forever. They'll
find some other... Now, they'll still have to vote on it and everything else, but they'll try to find some other way to tax you, sure. I'm just saying, you won't be paying for it directly if you're Jackson County anymore, and this is still the part that I like, is that for all this time we talked about, in the end, one of the things I like about this, even though I don't like publicly financed stadiums.
Sure.
One of the things I like about this is for a metro area that has had two teams for all this time, I do still like that now both pay for it. Like Missouri and Kansas, Jackson and Clay,
it's not
Johnson
one county.
and Wyandotte. They're all like, everyone's in on it together now, Gold. We're all paying for these. So like, whether we liked that they're publicly financed, at least it's not just one county footing the bill like it was for all that time. At least it's the region, you know? And in some cases for this Royals one, the state, they're going to make people cross the state fork up.
Yeah, I just think always, and this this applies. I don't care where you're from and what city you're living in, but like the $600 million from the city and redirecting the money. At some point, that'll have to get made up somewhere. They're saying like we still don't know the full plan. There at some point it can still result in maybe not directly from the stadium tied to it, but at some point some other sort of sales tax increase or something at some point. I mean,
yes,
they still have to explain the bond aspect of it and the backing of the bonds and like that still has to be.
They might ask for 3/8 cents for something else in some other future vote and say it's for teachers. I don't know how they're going to play it out, but they will eventually try to get that and have to explain the way they're going through it. But it went through the clear steps. Thursday was another step. Will probably be another week or two for more. The Royals put out a pretty vague statement just talking about they were happy with the council.
Right.
It'll be a big private investment. Like the statement didn't say much. It said more than their previous one, but they got to stay vague until they're in it. Until they're like fully on board.
Well, until they
the numbers are in
sign
front
the
of them.
agreement. Yeah.
Until they sign the agreement. Until then, they have to just be careful. Let's get to a random question, Drew. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Random question.
Fan club, throw our things off as we wait for the weather to roll in again. Pay close attention. Apparently, severe weather coming around the 3 o'clock. Is that what I'm to understand? Is when maybe it's rolling into town with the 3:30 to 4:30 or 5.
Yeah, I just said the multiple meteorologists in the area have been saying that the storms will form around 2, then move through Kansas City between 3 and 6. That's what they've been saying.
So we'll keep an eye out on that weather. The drive will obviously be keeping a close eye on it. I imagine as they'll be at the studio. You and I are going to try to rush home and take care of ourselves on the way through there, so that's not a bad thing. Hopefully you can do the same. Someone said they had a class at UMKC at 2 o'clock. They said, tell them to cancel. So tell your professor to cancel.
Might be a good idea.
Like if I were the professor, if this was going to happen during my class yesterday, I would have just been like, don't come in here. We're not doing this today. I'm not.
What class? I wonder what class it is.
Earthquake.
Class outside today.
That would be wild.
Good luck. That's not my random question. It is instead around stadiums and giveaways. I was thinking about the upcoming White Sox giveaway, which might be one of the greatest of all time, in which they're going to give away a Pope hat with a White Sox logo on it. Incredible work. He's obviously a White Sox fan or grew up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny that they would choose to do that. And so a very simple question. I just want to know what your favorite stadium giveaway that you've ever received was.
I thought you were about to ask for the favorite Pope of all time. I didn't know where we were
I don't
going.
have any Popes ranked.
Cody's got his Pope rankings coming up at 145 today.
Pope rankings.
145 Pope rankings.
Do you think anyone's ever done that?
I'm
Do you think
gonna
online
guess.
research?
Somebody has. Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna have to get
Oh
a-
man,
a-
immediately Reddit.
Of course
Who are the
somebody-
top 5 popes?
I'd have to get
It's
a
on
music
some
bed for that.
Catholic Reddit.
Of course there's. Anyway, all right, to answer your question, best giveaway. There's a couple immediately that come to mind.
I want to know the one you personally got, not one you just remember another team.
Okay. Well, then that I actually got.
Yeah.
Because it lasted as long as it did. Back in the day, I was probably maybe was I in high school, junior high, early high school, freshman maybe.
So young. A young Alex.
Back in the day, FSKC, that was the old Royals, right? FSKC TV network had the logo of it on the patch on the shoulder. It was the Billy Butler replica powder blue jersey. At the time, that was legit for a giveaway to get a jersey.
Yeah,
and
jerseys are always a
that
good
thing
giveaway.
lasted. That thing was still around up until about 5 years ago, and I finally got rid of it, I think, or donated it to the garage sale.
Okay.
Honestly, it might have been a garage sale item. I can't remember, but I don't have it anymore. But that thing held up through washer and dryer for
And
years.
didn't crack?
Did not crack.
Just
It held
look good.
up.
What did they screen print it with?
It was good. It was a solid
Wasn't
giveaway.
stitched,
That's
I
one
assume.
that I actually got. There's other giveaways that are cooler, but that was one that I actually was there for and remember picking up, and I was very excited.
Okay. So, Drew, what's yours? Do you have an answer?
There was a Pacers. It was a T-shirt giveaway, and it was essentially a remake of the FloJoes, the Pacers FloJo jerseys. That was probably the best one. That T-shirt made it a long time.
It's just what, like,
I got
it's
it
one
probably-
you wore a lot.
Yeah, I got it probably when I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school. Was about this time probably for the giveaway. It lasted well into college. I would say a good 5-7 years.
Like, so there's always bobblehead ones, and I see somebody on the like I'll read a few on the text line here in just a minute. I think the one I wore the most was very unremarkable. It was like a David DeJesus jersey. I wore the hell out of that thing. I also really like David DeJesus. I thought he was a really good player. Kind of an underrated player in his time here in Kansas City. He ended up having like a 15-year career, a quiet career.
I remember the day he got called up.
For David DeJesus. The one that I was behind, like there was a group that was trying to get it done, but I was like, yes, this person's right and we should get it, that I still have on my shelf is the Talking Rusty Kuntz bobblehead. I still really like that giveaway. I don't know, because because giveaway should be weird sometimes. The idea that I have a bobblehead of a assistant coach, the first base coach for the Royals, and he just says things like, hey, player, that stuff. I like the weirdness of it. I also really liked the Bo Jackson breaking the bat bobblehead.
Cool. Yep.
That one's an all-timer, too, just from like a coolness factor. It's hard. Bobbleheads are some of the coolest ones you can give, so I get it.
Someone says they still have the Billy Butler jersey. Someone else, 913-586-7965, said their least favorite. How about that? The Frank White statue giveaway, according to the 913.
What are you doing with that one? We got any for the Cody Gold garage sale?
Kelvin Herrera bobblehead's pretty sweet, someone said.
Somebody says, my favorite is the Royals 50th anniversary hoodie. I wore that one like last week on this show.
You did.
I do like.
That was in the garage sale.
It's not a bad hoodie. Like, it's a pretty, like, for a hoodie giveaway, you know what this is. Sometimes you get like the cheap material and it's not as good. You're like, I don't know if this is as good. I will say, nothing I've ever worn on this show or in a stadium has been requested more than when I got one of those like ketchup, mustard, or relish jerseys. People love
I have the
those.
ketchup one.
People love those. I put one in the garage sale last year and shipped one to somebody else.
Yeah,
just
people
to, be nice.
love the jersey and stuff. Someone said they have the last 6'10" day at the K jersey. Yeah, we did the last year's 6'10" before
we had the black
before
ones.
we switched to 96.5. Yeah, with
I have
the
one of those
6'10" patch.
I've never worn it. I have one in my closet. Time to put in the garage sale? Never worn it. Not even a single time.
I wore it once.
The black jerseys.
I don't know if I got to find it. I don't know where it's at.
They're giving them away again this year. The black jerseys are the worst in Royals history.
Yeah.
Specifically the vest, but all of them. All of them. Just wretched. Somebody today, I wish I was kidding. Somebody today sent me a message that just said, like just sending me one that was like, hey, a limited time only. The Royals have for sale. The black jersey for sale in the team shop. I was like,
see, this one I don't think counts. We're talking about like promotional items, but I agree. We've talked about the Krispy Kreme giveaway is an all-time giveaway. That's
all-time giveaway.
That's not so
Slightly
much like
different.
the true promotional giveaway I hear. That's like what they're doing with Hawaiian Bros now, with the score 6 runs at home or whatever and get the free lunch. But yes, the Krispy Kreme Dozen Donuts is an all-time giveaway, but not an item, I guess.
Shirt never fit me. I had this shirt, the dark blue Ace t-shirt from Zach Greinke. The one where he's the ace and then there's King, Queen, Jack, 10, and he's the ace on the mound. I had that shirt. It never fit me well. Loved the design, loved the shirt. Not a good fit. So I didn't get like I didn't get maximum I didn't get maximum value out of it. Which puts it in there. Someone says they still rock their Zach Greinke Cy Young Award t-shirt giveaway. Scoob says that over on Twitch. So there's always a couple. George Brett
the next giveaway they have coming up, let's see. Well, that's the theme ticket. Let me do a non-theme.
You know what they should bring back? Mini bats. The hell happened to mini bats?
Mini bats are
you can buy
mini
them.
Bats.
Great giveaway.
I know, but bring it back as a gift.
Splash Cup giveaway from Quick Trip. That's a good one.
Yeah, I do like that one.
The Pasquatch bobblehead is cool, but I feel like we've had one every year now.
Yeah, he gets one every year because he's an easy person to design one for. But it's got not real. That'd be crazy.
The City Connect
it's
beach
got like
towel.
hair on it this time, kind of like the Rusty Kuntz one.
I may not like the City Connect unis, but in a beach towel, it's perfect.
Oh, it's great for that.
It's perfect for a beach towel.
So you wouldn't do the City Connect replica jersey on August 7th?
Nope. Or
like the City Connect towel, like the
towel.
Scarf. I like the scarf too, but I don't wear scarves very often, so that's kind of tough.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Drew's going to get the Sluggers Gym tank top giveaway on June 30th.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym.
I'm going to
go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym wearing that.
Top.
So the royalties?
I don't want a gold chain with Slugger's face
are those the ones where like Charlie Hustle makes those?
Have in years past.
Multiple.
Not every year. They've moved throughout years.
On July 4th, they play the Phillies. That's fitting, actually. Red, White, and Bobby bobblehead giveaway. First 25,000 fans. This one's kind of funny looking.
He's got an eagle on his on
he's
top
got a
of
grill.
his bat.
It's actually kind of cool looking.
But again, there's always going to be a Bobby giveaway. There's always going to be a Vinny giveaway. It looks like they give something away that entire series.
Yeah.
July 17th, they have a City Connect Big Bobby bobble, and then they said they have 2 more Bobby Wood Jr. giveaways on the 18th and 19th for bobbleheads.
Drew's going to have the Royals tank top and the City Connect crossbody bag.
Oh yeah, that's what
I guarantee you, my wife.
You already have the crossbody on today.
I do. I got the bag.
What's the brand on it?
Coach.
Okay.
Ooh la la. Someone said when they were a kid, they gave away a full-size Louisville Slugger at a game they went to. Can you believe that? You imagine a kid just walking out with a bat? Honestly, I wouldn't get to the car before they dented someone's rim swinging that thing around.
I will say, if this was an actual... It's the jersey jacket giveaway. It looks sick. It's basically a...
jersey jacket?
It basically is a Letterman jacket, but it's short-sleeved. It's a big turnoff, I think, because of the short sleeve. If it was just a regular, like, Letterman jacket, it's pretty awesome. But
the Yoshi bobblehead at the Dodgers game was pretty sweet. Did you see that one?
No.
They did one in conjunction with Donald Glover, who plays Yoshi in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
They also have a pitcher whose nickname is Yoshi. So they did like a Yoshi the character bobblehead in like with the guy's number on it, but also in, like as Yoshi. So like it was obviously, as you can imagine, very popular.
You know what? I think
imagine my kids would have loved it. They're on the secondary market for absolutely ludicrous numbers.
the favorite might actually be the iced out hockey jersey.
I did see that, Drew. Yeah.
Hockey jersey, because it's
That one
the...
is-
How do I feel about a hockey jersey? I don't own any, so I just don't know how I feel about it.
Go look at it, Cody. It's the powder blue with the regular royal blue, and it looks really nice.
While you're looking for that, I have to bring something up that I think is absolutely ridiculous. On this show, a couple times a year, we bring up the massive Powerball jackpot.
Yeah, we like to take a chance here and there.
Because again, $50 million is not enough for us. We have to wait till it gets to $500 million. It's just not enough money at 50 to play. We got to wait till it gets to $500 million. Well, I saw an article yesterday that I guess Powerball is expanding. They're going international.
What?
Trying to build larger jackpots that draw more players. And they're expanding this summer to include players in England, Scotland, and other parts of the UK. I can't stand this. I got a couple issues right away. For starters, number one, we got the jackpots are going to increase. Okay, fine. But a majority of the people that are buying the tickets are still going to be in the US. So we're propping up the jackpot for the UK. That's messed up. They're sharing the same jackpot. More people in the U.S. are buying it, so we're propping up the U.K. I don't like this.
Why are we going international with it?
Well, they want bigger jackpots.
We don't need bigger jackpots. $800 million's enough.
Well, because they want more money. But I think this is terrible. In the U.S., we are going to be the majority of the people buying the tickets.
And then somebody in England's going to win.
Exactly. So that's my first problem. The second one, I think, is legitimate as well. If someone in the U.S. wins the Powerball, they're going to pay a crap ton of taxes to the United States and spend said money most likely in the United States. Well, now we're all contributing to buy these tickets in the United States. Someone in the UK wins. That money's never come to the United States. Now, maybe they have to still pay taxes. I don't know how that works.
They still have to pay taxes.
But they're not spending the money in the United States. This is a terrible idea. This is terrible. It should not even be allowed. This is an American. This is an American contest.
USA.
That's right.
That's Alex right now. The Powerball.
How high do you think that jackpot gets now?
We'll have $500 million jackpots all the time. What's going to happen with this?
I don't buy it till it gets to like $1 billion anyway. So
how high is it right now?
No. I'm saying how high do you think it could get? Like because you're
it still won't go higher because I don't think they're changing the odds necessarily.
Sure,
I think it'll just get
right
higher
now.
faster. So we'll just have more, like he said, $500 million jackpots.
But I don't think we should.
You don't think it's going to touch like $2.5 billion or anything like that because the amount of
one
people,
day it could. But I just think it truly doesn't make any sense. We're buying tickets in the U.S. Majority of us. Why we're letting somebody in the U.K. win it?
I'm surprised it's legal in other places. We're just other countries have the same rules as us. Are like you said, are the taxes the same? Do they pay British taxes too? Do they just pay U.S. taxes?
That'd be crazy if you paid both.
It says.
I mean, you can still take it, but I don't know. Do you pay a state tax? Because in our case, I got to pay a state and a country, and a U.S. tax. Do they pay a state tax if they're not in any of the states?
Do they have?
It says an agreement was announced Tuesday between the Multi-State Lottery Association, which runs the lottery game, and this group in the UK, which operates the UK National Lottery. The deal still must be approved by UK Gambling. For players in the US, nothing changes. $2 cost of Powerball. But with UK players buying tickets, a larger player pool will grow jackpots more quickly. I understand that, but I think it truly it doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm still upset that they raised them to $2.
Yeah, I mean, someone has yet to explain to me why it makes sense that we're going to be the majority of the ticket buyers, and then they are going to get the better potential end of the deal there if they win. Again, I'm not going to ever win the Powerball anyway. It's just the principle of if somebody wins the Powerball, they're not going to spend the money in the United States anymore. They're going to spend it over in the UK. It's terrible.
Which means we're not getting as much of the benefit, you know?
Anyway.
I mean, I'm assuming, somebody who wins the Powerball might spend money in a different country, but not most of it.
I do wonder, so they obviously don't have states like in England. They don't have states. They just have counties.
Mm-hmm.
So do they pay?
Oh, I'm sure
it would be like a county tax essentially.
I'm sure they'll pay some taxes.
But do they got to pay British taxes or U.S. taxes? Do they share it? Like, if somebody wins in Britain, do they just get, does the U.S. government get part of it? Some of it? All of it?
No idea. They have an agreement.
It sounds like they made it more complicated while also making the jackpot bigger.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you. I don't like it.
Alex wants this thing to be only here. Can we try to win $1
They can have their
billion?
own. They have their own lottery over there. Create your own, mega ball thing over there. Do it.
Call it something, what's the British version of Powerball?
Anyway.
It's probably still called Powerball.
Yeah. Up next, we'll get to what's trending. Then Rob Britton from The Drive is going to join us. We'll talk, thinking of soccer, we'll talk a little soccer and overseas with the World Cup and some of the news this week. And
brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you are a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Matt B and KC for an instant quote over the phone at 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on a Fan Club Friday, brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co., Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We got Rob Britton from The Drive hanging out with us. He, of course, will be on the air coming up in about a half hour with Jay Binkley. Bink is filling in for Cody, for C-Dot today.
Cody and C-Dot.
Yeah, he's filling in for both.
Binkley was happy.
Well, he would have been. Cody could have left. He would have.
Binkley almost beat Drew into the building today.
He was here by 9:15. Bink was. He's ready to rock and roll.
So he was late.
A little late for his 2 o'clock show.
He must have been a little slow because of the weather. I mean, what was going on?
Yeah, he said he was already out south, so he didn't want to drive back. So I get it. So he's been ready to roll for a while. A lot to get into. I do want to talk about college basketball just briefly with KU and MU and, of course, Bryson Tiller. Real quick, though, we were mentioning yesterday or 2 days ago the transportation plan and stuff was laid out and the cost for the World Cup. Mm-hmm. You, of course, everybody's been hearing it. Beyond the Pitch, KC, you and Scott Parks have been hosting that Odyssey podcast getting set for the World Cup here in, a month and a half or so. One, what did you make of the FIFA not allowing tailgating, and also seeing that the plan looks pretty good, at least for the transportation in terms of cost for people? You can take a bus even from Lawrence if you wanted to every single day of the World Cup and get to a match for like $50.
The pricing's not bad, and I believe I saw that all buses that pick up those locations will be going to FanFest and doing downtown stops for free.
Yeah.
So like if
some of them are doing
to the
airport.
Yeah. So like if you're a person who can't afford to take out a second mortgage to go see Algeria versus Argentina, for example, you're thinking to yourself, man, that $30,000 price tag is a little north of what I want to pay to watch soccer. Ride down to FanFest, go see Flo Rida, and it's free. So that's a pretty good deal by the city.
Cody was hating on the FanFest musical lineup. I go, what did you expect?
Yeah, I mean, something better than the Chainsmokers and Flo Rida.
It's a free concert.
It's the only time the World Cup's going to be in Kansas City. It's not crazy.
He wanted. I feel like he wanted Bad Bunny and Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I'm betting,
not that crazy.
I haven't looked at every FanFest in every city, but I'm betting if you go pull up L.A. or New York's, they're probably pulling the A list. I mean, I'm betting
Cody wanted Coachella, KC. He wanted
one A-lister.
Cody wanted Bieber
Flo
on.
Rida is an A-lister. You just don't like
Flo
his music.
Rida is an A-lister.
He's 100% an A-lister.
Oh, I don't know if he's an A-lister anymore. I don't know if he's an A-lister anymore. But Cody also wanted.
He has like 12 hits if Drew pulls them up.
Yeah, but he's. I don't think he's.
I'm not saying you don't know.
I'm not anti his music.
I don't think he's an A-lister anymore. But
he's like a B-pluser. Then there's some name. If he was at T-Mobile, he would do really, really.
Yeah,
full.
but they're just the balance. Like it's not Coachella. You're not gonna have Bieber up there with a laptop, sitting on stage.
You don't want to go watch his YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Watch YouTube. So maybe this is gonna sound like arrogant, elitist media in the know thing. But having done this podcast, I've talked to a bunch of people. I knew the no tailgating rule was coming for a while. It hasn't been really a secret.
So like what, 4,000 parking spots allowed?
And it's like
$125.
Yeah, and even that 125. It's not like, hey, I got tickets up in 331. I'm paying the 125. There's there's a hierarchy, just pecking order. We've had Mark Donovan on the podcast. He's made reference to this. We've had the mayor. So like I kind of, when that news story broke, I remember thinking like this is not news to me. I knew that no tailgating thing was happening. Now, if you are bored and you're looking for a laugh, go find there's a clip of British media on the BBC, and they were discussing how FIFA technically hasn't said no tailgating, but they kind of have said no tailgating. And the BBC newscasters breaking down what tailgating is some of the funniest content you'll hear.
Not accurate.
In the most British voice possible, which I'm not going to do. They describe
Drew
it
does
as,
that. He can do it for you.
They describe it as Americans go to a car park. They sit outside their vehicles. They have pints and grill meats. That's how they describe tailgating.
By the way, is Flo Rida taking up residency in Kansas City? He's doing a post-game concert at the K in July.
Good.
Flo Rida just live here all the time? I thought your name's
Cody.
Florida. The hell are you spending so much time in Kansas City for?
You said the Chainsmokers are going to be here?
Yes.
I looked up Atlanta's. It says the Chainsmokers are going to be
might be
there
doing
as
that.
well.
We can't even get a couple of different artists? We're just getting
Well,
their
they're
leftovers?
probably just rotating.
According to this.
Apparently,
Come on, FIFA, you got some cash.
apparently,
Let's get a real artist.
that doesn't go to the artist. That goes into their back pockets. What are you, new to FIFA? Come on.
Spread that wealth around.
People are saying they're not going to look up the clip you're talking about. They're not going to do that, Rob.
That's fine. You don't have to.
I do think
Either
that
way,
like, they said that Flo Rida concert was last year. I will say, if you've done a post-game concert at the K, you ain't A-list anymore.
Post game, yeah. Maybe.
Come on, man. Post-game.
No, he's not A-list.
You did a post-game concert at the K?
Because like
I saw Lauryn Hill post-game, but not Lauryn Hill in the 90s.
Because Post Malone's doing a concert, but that's not post game. He's just
That's an actual concert, and the tickets are hundreds of dollars.
That's different. Doing a concert there, doing a post-game, anybody who sticks here after Fireworks Friday, that ain't A-list.
You know what?
That ain't A-list stuff.
Flo Rida is the same level as Nelly. Is that a fair?
Yeah.
We're like, there's a group of people who are
Which
like,
is not A-list.
I would like to see Nelly. Like there's,
sure.
You're like, but maybe it's not A-list. You're not. That's fair.
I actually am not. Surely the lineup is what I actually think the lineup's totally fine for KC.
It's a free
FIFA
concert. I probably shouldn't
Fan Fest.
complain. But.
It is
Yeah,
free.
all you gotta do is download the free app, and you get a pass to go see them and go watch soccer. And there's probably $36 beers in there. I don't know.
Do you have tickets for the match? Are you going?
Not of the night.
Are you going to buy? Are you waiting to buy?
I'm going to wait for. I'm hoping there's another release coming. I don't know
think
that.
there is. I think they're done.
They've had
I think
so
secondary
many,
market
They've had
is-
so many problems with tickets. I'm hoping there's another release coming, but I will secondary market. I've
You
thought
can
to
buy
myself, Ecuador Curacao is the game. That's the game where I think secondary market's not going to hurt.
Well, or Austria Algeria. Austria Algeria is the cheapest match in Kansas City.
True. The one thing about the Algeria game that I think might change price wise is that they're base camping in Lawrence. So like if you're a
9:30 starter, 9:00 start.
Yeah, it's a late one. But if you're an Algerian fan, where are you staying
Here's
for the
where
World
you're
Cup?
gonna
You're
stay,
probably staying in Lawrence with the team or in the Kansas City area. So like they might have a decent contingent. Or not.
Okay.
That's why Ecuador Curacao is one that I've circled on as that's also a late one, I believe. But the Netherlands is a non-starter. Argentina's a non-starter.
7 p.m. it appears on
Drew did.
Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, the Saturday.
Juneteenth weekend.
Drew was
Saturday is gonna kill me.
Drew was the brave one that actually Googled what Rob suggested, which was quote British BBC.
So it was not BBC.
So,
it was Sky Sports.
Sky Sports.
But,
they're all
but that's a safer search.
6 in one hand.
Go ahead,
6 in
Drew.
one hand, half dozen the other.
Tailgating basically is a real integral part of US sports culture, and it involves turning up early for American football games, for instance, and having a party in the car park outside the stadium, eating and drinking hours before the game starts. Now, I imagine US sports fans who are into soccer were looking forward to tailgating at the World Cup this summer, but it looks like they're not going to be able to do that.
See,
oh, it's so good.
Sky
That's
Sports.
so good.
By the way, they do the same thing. They just go to the pub before.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't do it like.
But they're not used to the parking lot or the car.
The
car
park.
park.
The
car
fact they
park.
call it the car. Having a party at the car park is the funniest.
That's a funny way to describe it.
Integral to American sports fans.
Integral.
Speaking of car, what the hell are you going to do? We are leaving at 2. Storms are coming into Kansas City around 2:30 or 3.
Yeah,
I'll get home, put my car in the garage, and batten down the hatches. What the hell are you going to do? Your car's just going to be exposed in the parking lot.
I've done some research on the angle of the storm, and I've hoped to find a spot.
Who'd you do that research with?
The people over at 98.1.
Okay.
They're on
They're used to the weather part.
news side. So I parked as close to where they are parking as I can to be safe, but I'm preparing for a nice insurance claim.
The wind, like it can obviously come at an angle, but it can also still,
come straight down.
Straight down on the car.
Somebody suggested you just get can you find a used mattress somewhere and just drag it to the top of your car to the end?
Could you imagine if his car had a mattress on the top in the parking lot?
Incredible.
I thought about going downstairs and be like, all right, what's our tarp situation in the basement? There's probably a tarp down there.
But I mean, is the tarp going to protect if it's softball hail?
another layer just was my thought. But then I'm like, how am I going to weigh the tarp down? It's going to blow right off.
You strike me as a porch beer storm watcher.
100%
like myself.
I am. 100%.
Okay. We grew up in the Midwest. That's a very common energy towards storms.
So my patio is not enclosed. So I'm technically a garage with a...
Okay, with a lawn chair?
With a lawn chair person because I like to be enclosed. But yes, I'm very much that person.
The problem is like the screen porch works pretty well unless it's like the wind. Because if the wind's blowing, then it just comes into the side of the screen. So
I also, and maybe this is you too, that's a solo activity because my wife is a doomsday prepper. So when there's a storm in town, she's in the basement and I'm in the garage with my beer and my lawn chair. So we get the best of both worlds in that scenario.
My family and I, Gold, we talked about this once on the air. I have never, despite the fact I've lived in the Midwest and tornadoes have been close to us many times, I have never once been sent to the basement in my entire childhood.
Well, there's a tornado
probably
warning.
Not safe.
I think,
and you should definitely not heed that advice. Anybody listening?
I don't think I've ever done it in my home.
The sirens are going off. We wouldn't do that at the house.
Wait, hold on. You've never, when there's a tornado warning and sirens, you've never gone in your basement?
I don't think I've done it in my
crazy
home.
To me.
I don't know. I can remember a time where I'm like, the sirens are going, I'm headed to the basement.
The sirens will make me turn the news on. Like, all right, let me see how close it is.
I've headed to school in school as a kid. There's been sirens go off, and we were told to head to the downstairs cafeteria. But I don't remember a time as an adult where I've been like, the siren's going off, I got to get to my basement.
Oh wait, you didn't have
to
do
it growing up as a kid all the time. If I was at home and the sirens went off, like the whole family had to go downstairs.
No, we were
maybe because we were latchkey kids. Maybe because I don't know, but we just didn't do that.
You were like, all right, turn the news on, get away from windows, let's see what the deal is, because sometimes maybe this is objectively bad advice. The siren's going off. It might be going off because the other end of the county is getting hit.
Terrible advice, but yeah, that's how my family handled it. What were you gonna say, Drew?
We never had I didn't have a basement growing up. It was a one-story house.
In Indiana, no basement?
Well, no, there were basements, but in my house,
he just said his.
Growing up, there was no basement. We had a one-story house, so we would always go to the bathroom, like just get in the bathroom and stay away from the windows. At school, we would do the old. Cover your head. Get on your knees and then cover your head. Yeah, sort of thing.
I definitely had to in elementary school. The sirens went off and they sent us all downstairs to our elementary school. The cafeteria is in the basement, so we were up against the walls down there. But I don't think in my home I've ever done it. And then there was once the sirens went off. I lived in an apartment, and I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like,
just hang out, I guess.
One
of the apartments I lived in had a shelter area in the complex.
Here, or is
this was actually when I lived in Topeka for a brief period of time. There was
the plains,
and so, but like my current apartment does not have basement.
If you get home and the sirens go off at your apartment,
garage, I guess.
Yeah, I would have to see the damn tornado at that point for me to actually go. Like, in my apartment, there's no basement, so like.
I mean, away from a window into the bathroom.
Yeah,
but
you're
garage.
The garage, though, I guess. But again, it would have to be like pretty obvious that it's about that.
Do you have a tub / shower set up?
I do.
Actually. There you go. You could be on the tub,
but that's upstairs, though. On the second floor of the building.
It's better than up against the window on the second floor.
For sure. No question.
Peering out.
See what's going
on. No question.
What's happening.
No question.
They make it sound like it's going to be like, I know we're all like that, but like they make it sound like it's going to be like 80-mile-per-hour gusts of winds and softball size or potato, depending on who you follow on weather, potato-sized hail.
So I was watching the weather downstairs. I went to go get a piece of candy, and I was sitting in Joanne's office.
A single piece of candy?
I mean, I got, it's like the gummy bears.
What type of okay, gummy
bears. I get the gummy bears.
A piece of candy.
Yeah, it's one packaging that has like seven gummy bears. Yeah. I don't need more than that. They're not good for you. So I'm sitting down there watching the weather, and they're like, tornado risk, there's a chance, but the chances are slim. The biggest problem is extreme wind, 85-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah. Some tree limbs, some major. You're probably going to have some tree damage and fences going.
People are saying they updated the sirens. I don't.
What do you mean?
I think they mean by when they go off, like the radius or something.
They go off sooner.
If they go off, then it's there.
Yeah, it's closer to you now. It used to be like, hey, there's one in Johnson County where I grew up, and it could be in Gardner. And
nowhere near you. Yeah.
So if I hear it, I should be downstairs.
You should take your kids down in the basement and be responsible adult for your kids. Yes.
You know what it is?
You need to break the cycle.
I grew up in a life of, what are we, afraid of some tornado?
Oh, gosh.
I can't teach my kids to live in fear.
This is why we
take things head on in this world.
This is why we couldn't get a meteorologist on the show. They're like, these idiots talking about the storm.
Like, I get it. You genuinely should not follow any of the advice of anything I did as a child. If you hear the siren, just be safe. Listen to your local news person. Don't listen to me, the sports talko host. This guy.
I did joke with Bink the other day. Bink's like, we were prepping the show, talking about topics, and I'm like, Bink, it's worth noting, I don't think we're gonna have a great listenership
I want to
today.
hear Bink's weather coverage.
That's the last thing I want to hear. I was like, I don't think we're gonna do great with ratings today, because if you are in your car between 2 and 5 today, I'm betting you're not being like, man, I want to have some real hot draft takes I want to hear.
Sometimes people like an escape. Maybe not from a severe weather.
I feel like if you're driving down and you hear the sirens turning 965 today, might not be the move at 4 o'clock.
I think you guys should open up the phone lines and be like, anything you want to get off your chest right before the storm hits. You know,
just do a hotline Bink before the
hotline Bink
precursor. Yeah,
as a warm up.
The hotline Bink.
I don't think people should be on their phone in the middle of the severe weather with Binkley. That seems like a dangerous.
That seems like a worse
opportunity.
Idea.
That's worse than me just sitting on my porch.
Yeah, probably.
Not going to the basement. Actively talking to Bink about pick 40 and how you don't want him to take a tackle there.
40's too.
I was going to say it wouldn't be 40.
It's got to be a 79. Deep cuts only.
Bink's going to be giving storm and draft comps. This player, if this would be the closest to a tornado in the NFL, this guy, he should just start working weather puns with his draft analysis of prospects.
Right now, the weather is Xavier Worthy's 40 fast.
He can give us category 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 prospects.
Don't tempt him with a good time, because that will be our 2 o'clock. We've prepped the 2, but
just tell Bink not to do a tease of we'll tell you where the tornado's on the ground next after this.
Yes,
don't do that.
We did get I asked the boss, I'm like, how do you want us to handle the weather? He goes, here's what not to do. Here are the hard and fast no's.
There was a particular time on this very station when someone said a tornado has touched down. Tell you more next.
Yes,
which is unbelievable.
Don't do that.
That was unbelievable.
Don't tease a tornado.
That's one of the things that came up
break.
with. Let's not do that. If you have a weather update, maybe just take a break a few minutes late so you can give the update. Don't tease updates.
Do you remember this old story? This is like 2 years old. It's still in the system. I think we'd had it for a trash of the day where this guy missed the tornado because of the hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
This was it's 11-second clip. We had this from an old trash of the day.
Your house, sadly, tragically, completely destroyed. Where were you today when the storm rolled through?
I was at the gas station getting hot dogs, and it saved my life. So hot dogs saved my life.
Good for that guy. Another guy who
I've been telling this story for the rest of my life.
Another guy who wasn't in the basement.
He's just getting a hot dog at the gas station.
That's Cody in 10 years. Listen, I had a choice between a quick trip griller or being in the basement.
The text line has turned into a snitch line, which we do on Thursdays. Someone said, got to get off my chest before the storm hit. I used to hate on CDOT last year, but that didn't stop me from getting a picture with him at the Royals game.
Wow,
Okay.
so you'd hate on somebody and then still took a photo, huh?
Yeah.
Tough. In this business, you're always going to have some haters. Is there
says-
somebody in particular on the text line that just goes after you every time, Rob?
I don't remember that. Yes, but no. There was a guy, he got real quiet last year. So last offseason, I was down on the Chiefs offseason. I was like, hey, run it back after getting thumped in the Super Bowl. Not a great plan. And this guy hit me every day with, you don't know that Rice and Worthy is Hill and Watkins 2.0. He got real quiet. He disappeared a little bit from the ether when they got 6-11. But I'm sure the Chiefs will start 2-0 and he'll be back. That's the one guy that always gets me.
I know the Royals game yesterday kind of
Stole the show.
messed this up a little bit, but we're running out of time here. But if you want to tease it at least, I know Carrington did have a chance before he left for Vegas to talk to Bryson Tiller.
He did. It's a podcast exclusive right now. You can head to any of your social channels where you get your podcasts for the show, and a conversation with Bryson Tiller about his move from Kansas to Missouri is available to be heard. He sat down with Carrington. That sit down was supposed to air yesterday, but instead the decided to get bubble guts and screwed everyone. So what are you going to do?
Definitely had some stomach from what we did earlier, but from Missouri, top recruiting class, got their top portal targets.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I mean, it has to be at bare minimum second weekend.
Yeah.
Bare minimum, right?
For Missouri?
From an expectation perspective.
100%.
I'm not guaranteeing you. I'm just saying, if you're Dennis Gates, no excuse. You got to get them there.
Correct. You have to. And as part of that, I would imagine, and I'm not a Mizzou fan, if I'm a Mizzou fan listening, it's not second weekend because you were a spicy 7 seed that beat the 2. It's second weekend because you were a 4 seed. It's second weekend because you were a 3.
It was expected, yeah.
It was like, all right, you beat the 6 in the 14, and now you're heading to match up with UConn's the 2 seed. Like, that has to be the expectation for Missouri. It can't just be, hey, we eked into the second weekend, let's see what happens. It needs to be, based on your seed line, the expectation is you are going one more round than usual. That's 100% what Dennis Gates and Missouri fans have to be looking for.
Yeah, I think that it's the same for Kansas and Missouri, because Kansas every year, minimum.
That's the expectation every year for Kansas.
Bare minimum year for Kansas is you better get to at least the Sweet 16.
Or if you're going to be an early exit, like 2023, me and Carrington argue about 2023 all the time for Kansas. They won the league and they were a 1 seed. And then their coach had a heart attack and couldn't coach in the tournament. A lot of fans, myself included, are down on that season. I can't believe you lost to an 8 seed. You didn't make the second weekend. Being a 1 seed and winning the league does have value. So if you're Mizzou and you're a 2 seed and you
finish third in the SEC,
or you win the SEC regular season and then you have a disappointing exit, like you can still at least be like, okay, there was a lot of good things that happened here. But like, yes, the expectation at Kansas is second weekend, and if you're not second weekend, there are going to be other check marks that are hitting.
He's just not going to be able to keep anybody quiet on the he can recruit, he can't coach.
Oh,
if he has his best class ever and doesn't go anywhere, then everyone's going to be like, hey, man, you good at getting good players to play well? Or?
He's going to be viewed as Scott Drew. Because remember, for a long time, Scott Drew was roll the ball. He rolls the ball out there, and he's just a doofus who can't handle the timeouts.
The other part that we already knew, but it just reemphasizes, and that is that the college kids do not give a damn about tradition or history, rivalries. That does not matter. You, the fan, care. The players don't. There's very rare exceptions to that. But this would never have happened 10 years ago. I'm not even talking about like NIL. I just mean truly a player would never
transferred 10 years ago. They were not transferring from one to the other.
Not to a
from
rival
North Carolina
like that.
to Duke or Kansas to Missouri.
The rivalries are not what they were in football or basketball, as we all know. There's a lot of reasons for that. Conference realignment, the biggest, but NIL now has advanced that even more. It just is like it's just such a different world because if you would have told a KU or an MU player back in 2005 that they had the ability to transfer for more money, they would have said, "Okay, yeah, but I'm not going to Missouri or I'm not going to Kansas."
Yeah, I look at it now, and it's slowly becoming this. It's pro sports. Pro sports rivalries are built on the field, on the court. Remember when the Cavs and the Warriors were rivals? They met in the finals every year. They weren't rivals. They have no history. There's no beef.
Yeah.
But they were meeting in the finals every year, and LeBron and Steph didn't get along for a while. That made a fun little NBA rivalry.
Chiefs-Bills.
In the NFL, Chiefs-Bengals is the best example.
Yep.
Chiefs fans have... to this day, will run down the Bengals, and you're like, you have no actual beef with the Bengals. But ask your average Chiefs fan, like, oh, I hate the Raiders.
It's because of Jamar Chase comments and the mayor of Cincinnati's
comments. All those
comments
things were based on the field stuff. Like, if the Bengals hadn't started 2-0 all the time against the Chiefs, I don't think they're popping off. Like, it's on. So that's how college rivalries are becoming. Duke and Carolina will be a big deal to fans, but the players, they will care more about, hey, we lost this game and so was chirpy, and I don't like that so-and-so was chirpy, and that will be how it was born.
T-Mobile Center, KUMU. Now it's a home game this year for Missouri. Now, it doesn't mean KU can't buy tickets, but as we saw last year, it's going to be tough for it not to be a majority MU crowd.
I hate that. It should be 50-50.
I hate